Welcome to South Kitsap High School here at Joe Knowles Field as the hosting South Kitsap Wolves will be taking on the Pierce County South Puget Sound 3A League Franklin Pierce Cardinals in a non-league matchup here tonight, Friday night, the third week of high school football. South Kitsap coming into this game with a record of 1-1 with a heartbreaking loss last week to a big Narrows League rival, Central Kitsap, losing 14-13. So South Kitsap is ready to unleash a little bit of anger here tonight against the Cardinals. The Wolves will be receiving the kick to start the game as we have a beautiful evening of football. We've had just wonderful weather the last couple of weeks, high 70s to low 80 degree weather. It's cooled off just a little bit here, but it is a little overcast, but still nonetheless it's a beautiful evening for football here at South Kitsap High School. So Franklin Pierce coming in with a very high-powered offense, one of those spread-em type offenses, and the Franklin Pierce Cardinals are going to kick it off. It is going to be fielded by Isaiah Davis at his own 13-yard line. He's going to take the ball straight up the middle. He's got a little bit of running room, but he's taken down. Nice tackle there. That was number 30, Aram Mann, the senior linebacker for Franklin Pierce. And there was a nice wedge there up the middle for the Wolves as they are going to start in very good field position as they will start at their own 35-yard line. So tonight I will be doing solo here in the booth. My partner in crime, David Rodriguez, old D-Rod, wasn't able to make it up to the booth this evening. He is on location and doing some research, and he will be back hopefully soon to assist in the duties up here in the booth. So we're going to be flying a little solo here this evening as South Kitsap is coming out here looking to put a hurt on Franklin Pierce and redeem themselves from last week's loss as Gordy Anderson is going to pitch the ball to the tailback, and that is Sean Allison. He's got a block, nice block there. He gets way out near midfield. A nice run there. He gets a great block from TJ Rhodes, and he gets past the first down. And they're going to start with a gain of about 13 on the play, and they're going to get near midfield. They're going to place the ball at the South Kitsap 48-yard line, so we have a first down for the Wolves right off the bat. South Kitsap is sending out Jared Moore, split to the far right side. Number 93, Isaiah Davis, the sophomore, is in the slot position, trips to the right side. They're going to do a quick pass to Isaiah Davis. He's got a little bit of room. He jukes, gets to the outside, stays on his feet. There he goes, and he's finally taken down, but not until he gets another huge pickup. So the Wolves mixing it up a little bit here with the run and the pass, and the first one going to a pitch to Sean Allison for a gain of about 13, and then a nice little pass out to the flat, Isaiah Davis, the pass from Gordy Anderson, and the ball is going to be down at the Franklin Pierce 35-yard line. So the Wolves are on the move once again as they're going to send four wide receivers. Sean Allison is the lone tailback. Three trips to the left. They're going to head the ball up to Allison for a little dive play off of the guard. Not much on that play, but Allison still is gaining about we're going to give them 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Wolves. So the Wolves also looking to spread it out on offense just a little bit here. A couple of runs going for the early pass play in it, and new offensive lineman in at guard. That is number 61, the junior, Greg Pickard, who is in there to the game. And there's a little bit of motion, and they're going to stop that one. Jared Moore split to the near side of the field. And just a little bit anxious on that start to get there on his route, and the Wolves are going to be flagged for an illegal procedure call, and instead of 2nd and 6, it's going to be 2nd and 11 to go here. 2nd and 7, we're going to call it 2nd 12 now, so just a little bit anxious there. The Wolves trying to pick up some slack here. Great game fought last week against Central Kitsap. Wolves fought hard and came up with the short end of the stick, but they're looking to take out a little bit of frustration in tonight's game. So the Wolves come out. They're going to send 2 wide receivers, both sides. Jared Moore, and that's also Leon Ladeau to the far side. Gordy Anderson's going to fake the handoff, roll out to his right, be flushed out of the pocket, and he's got a man right down the middle. That's number 83, Brad Brad Fairweather, nice catch by Fairweather with the streak across the middle. He caught the ball around the 30-yard line, and he was able to get about another 10 yards. He gets out of bounds, and the Wolves had a second and long, and Fairweather gets down to the 20-yard line inside the red zone. So the Wolves are now knocking on the Cardinals' door. The Wolves looking to score quickly here, looking very crisp on offense. In the I formation, Ryan Williams now in at tailback. They're going to hand the ball up to the up back. That is the fullback for the Wolves, who gets the quick hit, and the Wolves sharing some of the running duties. That was number 29, Nick Pea on the carry right there. The fullback dive straight up the middle. South Kitsap with a couple of weapons on offense at tailback. Sean Allison and Ryan Williams, and when one is in the game doing well and comes out, the other one comes in and does equally well. So South Kitsap is very loaded at that position as they come out with trips to the far right. Lone wide receiver, a three-step drop. Anderson's got a man, and he's got Leon Ladeau. Makes the nice catch just beyond the first down marker. He does stay in bounds. They have to stop the clock to move the chains, and that is going to be a first down for the Wolves, and they are inside the 10-yard line. It will be first and goal for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 8-yard line. So South Kitsap trying to do some damage here early on. Normally in this kind of situation, the Wolves come out in that power I formation, but they're going to spread it out a little bit here, send three wide receivers, Moore, Davis, and Ladeau. The lone setback is Sean Allison. They're going to hand the ball off to a counter. Allison's got a little bit of room. He barrels his way forward, gets close to the goal line. The wide receivers did a great job on that, making it, trying to sell the pass on that one, opening up the middle just a little bit. And the Wolves get even closer. They get down to the, we're going to call it the 3-yard line, second and goal for the Wolves, as South Kitsap is knocking on the Cardinals' door. So South Kitsap trying to get into that end zone. This is their first offensive possession. Ladeau split to the far side. Jared Moore split way to the near side of the field. Gordy Anderson's going to hand the ball off to Sean Allison, and he's met near the goal line. I don't think he got in. They're not signaling a touchdown, and it is going to be third and goal for the Wolves. It looked like he was getting in, but there was a nice defensive stop there by Franklin Pierce, and it is going to be placed at about the 1-yard line. So it'll be third down and goal for the Wolves to get into that end zone, and all they need is just 1 yard. So I can only imagine that this is probably going to be 2-down territory for the Wolves trying to get into that end zone. So they come out in that power I formation, and they're going to hand the ball to Sean Allison, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, South Kitsap. Sean Allison with the 1-yard touchdown run, and a great opening series by the Wolves as South Kitsap first gets on the board with 8:26 remaining here in the first quarter of play. So nice job by the Wolves mixing it up a little bit with the pass and the run, and it could be a long evening for Franklin Pierce if that continues, but we will have to wait and see how Franklin Pierce responds to that, as Drew Klopstein is coming out for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. And South Kitsap leads Franklin Pierce 7-0 with 8:26 remaining in the first quarter of play, as South Kitsap will now kick off. And as we mentioned earlier to you folks watching the game here this evening, that Franklin Pierce, their head coach is Howard Lutton, but one of the more notable assistant coaches for Franklin Pierce is Jason Gesser, who he was a starting quarterback at WSU for 4 years and set all kinds of records at that school, and had a brief stint in the NFL, and is now an assistant coach here at Franklin Pierce. So it'll be interesting to see what they say. Our early reports say that Franklin Pierce likes to spread it out, and they like to sort of run and gun, if you will. They really want to spread the defense out, and they like to throw the ball if possible. So we'll see how the Wolves respond here. South Kitsap coming out. They'll be kicking off from their own 40-yard line. Back deep to receive for Franklin Pierce, number 22, Antonio Turner, the 5'6" sophomore. And Drew Klopstein is now kicking off for the Wolves, and they're going to go for the onside kick. They're going to let it go 10 yards, and I think that the Wolves got it. Everybody was expecting the long kickoff return, but no. Oh, they did. They did get it. We finally see the signal from up here, and they did. They went for the onside kick. Franklin Pierce thought that they were going to kick it deep, and they didn't. And Klopstein did a real nice job of letting the ball roll 10 yards and recovering the ball past midfield. It has to go 10 yards in all levels, and it did. And South Kitsap recovered, and just like that, South Kitsap has the ball once again. So the early turnover and mistake by Franklin Pierce gives the Wolves the ball once again. Gordy Anderson, a little three-step drop. He's going for Leon Ladeau. He's got him down on the sideline. Oh, and it's just in and out of his hands as a flag comes flying out at the 20-yard line. Gordy Anderson had Leon Ladeau at the 20, and it did hit him. It was a nice pass. There was a little bit of contact, as they did show there. And we're looking for the number for on defense down there. That's number 3. That is Imani Lamasduule for Franklin Pierce. And it did look like it was pretty good defense, but apparently there was just a little more contact than what the referees were allowing. And just like that, a pass interference play goes for deep. And so South Kitsap is going to have the ball deep in Franklin Pierce territory. They're going to spot the ball. It's going to be first down Wolves for the ball is going to be placed at the 30, we're going to call it the 38-yard line. Ryan Williams is in at tailback. Anderson looking over the defense. He's going to fake the handoff. Oh, and he's flushed out of the pocket. He still tries to get it out of there. Nice job by Anderson avoiding the sack, but not till he was taken down by Reinhard Siosa. Nice job there by Siosa as he came in from off the right tackle, and Anderson had a nice fake, but Siosa was right there, and he had Anderson in his grasp, but Gordy Anderson did a great job of scrambling away and was able to get rid of the ball, and it wasn't intentional grounding. Pass is incomplete. It'll be second 10 for the Wolves. South Kitsap again in the I formation. Looks like there's a little bit of a counter. Ryan Williams gets the ball up straight up the middle. He heads forward. May have gotten a couple on the play. I think about 3. Gets back to the 30-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Wolves. So South Kitsap a couple of plays here of not gaining much. Good defense, good response to the onside kick that was recovered by South Kitsap. First kick of the game for the Wolves. And the Wolves are now looking at a 3rd and long situation as Jared Moore split to the near side of the field. The Wolves are going to send trips to the right side. There's a little bit of confusion, and I think that, and it is on both sides, but Franklin Pierce is going to have the timeout called here. So, again, an early recap. South Kitsap received the ball first, and on its first offensive series, South Kitsap was able to drive down the field and scored on a 1-yard touchdown run by Sean Allison. After the extra point was good, South Kitsap went for the kickoff, and an onside kick. Drew Klopstein was able to recover it and had a really nice kick. Franklin Pierce was not expecting the onside kick and went the necessary 10 yards, and the Wolves got the ball back at about the Franklin Pierce 47-yard line. And a couple of plays right here. South Kitsap faces a 3rd and long. We're going to call it 3rd and 7 from the Franklin Pierce 30-yard line. So Franklin Pierce really looking to stop the Wolves here. They don't want to give them too many points here early on the board. As the Wolves break the timeout, they're going to send trips to the right side. TJ Rhodes in that slot position along with Isaiah Davis and Leon Ladeau. Jared Moore to the near side of the field. Gordy Anderson drops straight back, looks to his left, and he does, and he's got Jared Moore. Jared Moore with a nice little catch and a sidestep. He evades a couple of attackers. He stickers on his feet. Jared Moore's going to go in for the touchdown. Nice pass and completion, and Jared Moore gets in on a 30-yard touchdown pass play. Nice reception by Jared Moore. He caught the ball near the 20-yard line. There were about 5 Franklin Pierce defenders who were unable to take him down. Great balance by Moore. Stayed on his feet, cut to the middle of the field, and Jared Moore gets into the end zone for the touchdown. So 1 run touchdown and now 1 pass touchdown as the Wolves go for their the extra point. Drew Klopstein again in for the kicking, and it is up, and it is perfect. And just like that, with 7:27 remaining in the first quarter of play, South Kitsap leads Franklin Pierce 14-0. So we will see how the Cardinals respond to this. We're still waiting to see their high-powered passing offense, in which they will be spreading the ball most likely. Our researchers have said how Jason Gesser, one of the assistant coaches for Franklin Pierce, has brought in a spread-style offense, and that is the forte for the Franklin Pierce Cardinals. So we'll see how they do on this one. I can't imagine that the Wolves would be going for another onside kick, but we'll see just how that goes. So South Kitsap doing a nice job here in the first quarter of play on a beautiful, beautiful evening here in Port Orchard, Washington at Joe Knowles Field, as the official comes out to the 40-yard line, and South Kitsap will be kicking off once again. Number 3 for the Cardinals back deep to receive, along with number 22, Antonio Turner. Imani is back to catch, and this time they're going to squib it down, and it's going to be Imani this time. It bounces, and it's going to go. He better get that ball, and he caught it. He did field it, and he gets, oh my goodness, and there comes a penalty flag, and that was a massive, massive face mask. And Franklin Pierce let the ball hit. Imani had the ball, and it looked like it was going to go into the end zone, but the ball did not cross the plane, but he looked like he started in the end zone. And normally when the offensive man is in the end zone, he cannot touch the ball, otherwise it is an automatic touchback. But he did field it, and he got out near the South Kitsap 15-yard line, but add to that a face mask penalty, and so Franklin Pierce is going to have very good field position. Franklin Pierce will have the ball at the South Kitsap 27-yard line. So we are now going to see the spread offense as Franklin Pierce comes out with 4 wide receivers. Brooks Roy is the quarterback for Franklin Pierce. They have 1 lone setback for Franklin Pierce, and Roy is in the shotgun formation, overlooking the defense. They're going to fake the handoff, and they do. They throw the pass out into the flat, and he eludes a would-be tackler. The catch is made by Aram Mann, and Mann gets a nice gain on the play. He's going to get out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 13, and just like that, Franklin Pierce comes out throwing the ball. Franklin Pierce with that high-powered spread offense, and we can see that all night. Brooks Roy at quarterback looks most likely he's going to be in the shotgun formation. The spread offense, Roy looks over the defense. 4 wide receivers in the game. This time they're going to hand the ball off to the running back, and he's got a little bit of room up the middle. Not too much, but not until he gets to the 45-yard line. That's a nice run by, that's number 5, Charles McKellen. Charles McKellen with the carry, and that's the type of thing that can happen on the spread offense. You focus so much on the pass that you've got to be careful for the run. So they get a gain of 5 on the play. This time they're going to send 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field, trips wide receivers. The lone setback again in the backfield. Roy looks to his right, and they're going to set up the screen pass, and they do to the running back. He's got plenty of room. He's dragged from behind by Ryan Williams, but not until a big play. That's going to be 15 yards on the pickup. The pass was made to Charles McKellen, the junior for Franklin Pierce, and he made a nice pass and reception off the screen play, and a couple of big plays like that, and Franklin Pierce is in business. They are in South Kitsap territory. They're at the 40-yard line, spreading out that offense once again. Trips wide receiver to the far side of the field. Franklin Pierce with this big spread offense. Roy in the shotgun. He's going to roll to his left. He's looking, getting chased by Brian Kuznick. Almost takes him down. Oh, and he drops down to his knees, and Roy is down. When you are in high school, when the knee goes down, the play stops, and he just got both knees down. Big Brian Kuznick, number 52, the 6'6", 286-pound senior for South Kitsap, was just barreling right at him, and Roy saw him coming, tried to elude him, and it looked like he was going to, but he may have been tripped up on the play. and Roy went down to his knees and was not able to make the pass before he got away. So South Kitsap with a nice stop there. It's going to be a big loss, about a loss of 6 on the play. 2nd and 16 from the South Kitsap 46-yard line. They send a man in motion, which will put trips to the far side of the field. Roy's going to look to his right. There's a penalty flag. Roy's looking around. He's going to scramble. He gets out of the pocket. He jukes and jives, and he gets near the first down marker, but there's a penalty flag all the way back at the Franklin Pierce 45-yard line, and it is going to be an illegal formation against Franklin Pierce, so a huge gain. Brooks Roy gained about 15 of those 16 yards back, but it's all for naught because of an illegal formation. And South Kitsap with the lucky little stop here, as Franklin Pierce is going to be scooted back 5 more yards, I believe. And it's going to be 2nd and 21 for Franklin Pierce. So Franklin Pierce, a couple of big plays with that spread offense, but not so much luck here. They were chased out of the pocket. Big Brian Kuznick took them down, and then with the penalty, even though they were close to the first down. But Franklin Pierce will try and regather themselves, and they will have the ball near midfield. We're still waiting to see where they're going to place the ball here. It's probably just going to be right at midfield. The ball looks like it was at the 46-yard line, and it is. It's going to be placed at Franklin Pierce's 49, so just right near midfield as they come out with that spread offense once again. That is McKellen in the backfield with Roy. 4 wide receivers once again. This is going to be a common thing we see here tonight. Roy's going to look to his right. He's got a man down his middle. He's got a man on the flat. Oh, and it's just in and out of the hands of Aaron Mann. It was off the fingertips. He was running the flat route down the middle, but good coverage there by the Wolves defense. And the pass was intended for Mann, but it's incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and 21 for Franklin Pierce. So we'll see how they respond after being pushed back just a little bit. South Kitsap doing a pretty nice job here of recovering from a couple of big plays from that spread offense, but not taking too much time trying to recover. Franklin Pierce, 4 wide receivers, 3 trips sent to the near side of the field. Roy in the shotgun. He's going to look to his right. He's got a man down the middle. He looks in the flat. There comes a man. That ball is caught at near the 40-yard line. A nice catch there just inside the 40-yard line. That was number 2, Josh Moore, for Franklin Pierce, but they get just past the original line of scrimmage, which was the 40-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and 8 at the South Kitsap 38-yard line. So Franklin Pierce picks up a bulk. They pick up a giant portion of that once again, but they only have 8 yards to go, and we'll see if the Wolves can stop them here. Big play right here on defense for the Wolves, doing a pretty good job stopping this offense. Franklin Pierce is going to send 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Roy in the shotgun. Looked like there was a little false start, no flags. He rolls to his left. He's got a man out in the flat, and the ball is caught, but it is not going to be for much. Nice defense there by the Wolves. Excellent defensive coverage there. That looked like Isaiah Davis and number 33, Robert Issa, on defense. So the Cardinals are unsuccessful on 4th down, and South Kitsap is going to take over on downs. Nice job by the Wolves here, and with 3:56 remaining in the first quarter of play, South Kitsap is going to take over on downs. So South Kitsap with the big stop there. Franklin Pierce definitely coming out, showing that spread offense once again, and you could tell that it was very effective, but the Wolves just made a few adjustments there on defense, and it was an excellent stop there. But we can be sure to see Franklin Pierce a little bit more here as the Wolves come out traditional I formation. 2 wide receivers both sides. Gordy Anderson under center. They're going to hand the ball off to Sean Allison. He's got a big opening on the right-hand side. There goes Sean Allison. He's chased from behind, and he's taken down just across the 50-yard line. Nice run by Allison. We're going to call it a gain of 12, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wolves. So a big opening off the right side for Sean Allison and the Wolves. South Kitsap coming out with a lot of the running plays, a couple of pass plays here, fueled by that big offensive line up front as Leon Ladeau and Isaiah Davis now in the game. Ledoux split to the far side of the field. They're going to fake the handoff. Gordy Anderson rolls to his left. He's got a man out in the flat, and it was just barely off the fingertips. Gordy Anderson just overthrew Rick Gillespie, the 6'4" senior for South Kitsap, streaking across the field. But the pass was incomplete, just off of Gillespie's fingertips, and the pass is incomplete, and it'll be second down for the Wolves. But it was a nice pass play. Just led him, Anderson led Gillespie just a little bit too much, but I'm sure that the Wolves will bounce back here as they come out in that I formation once again. Sean Allison is the tailback. Anderson's going to hand the ball off to Allison. He's got a little bit of a hole, but he's tripped up. Nice stop there on defense by the defensive lineman for the Cardinals. That looks like big number 52. Travis Hoberg, and he did a nice job of tripping Allison up, and Allison was able to scoot forward for about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce. We're going to call that the 45-yard line. So South Kitsap with another big play here. Franklin Pierce looking to stop the Wolves. The Wolves have scored on their first 2 possessions as they send 2 wide receivers to the right. Anderson, a little 5-step drop, rolls to his right. He's got a man out there, and it's a nice catch by Ledoux just beyond the first down marker. Nice reception, and there is a penalty flag, though, down back near the line of scrimmage at the South Kitsap 45-yard line. The Wolves have the first down, and unfortunately, it's all going to come back. They're signaling a hold against the Wolves. So instead of a first down and a gain of about 14 yards, the Wolves are going to be scooted back about 10. So instead of 3rd and 6, it'll be 3rd and 16 for the Wolves. Looked like there was a holding call, a holding penalty against the Wolves offensive line. We're waiting for the signal. And it's a holding call. And they are going to be pushed back. So instead of a first down, it's going to be 3rd and 16 for the Wolves at their own 45-yard line. So a big break for Franklin Pierce because the Wolves had the first down. So South Kitsap is going to be looking to get that first down. Big play here. 3rd and 16 from the 45-yard line as the Wolves break out. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side. Isaiah Davis split in the slot. TJ Rhodes also there. They're going to hand the ball off to Allison, looking at a little counter. Nice defensive stop in the back there. Good hit. That is Ruben. Ruben is Amani's brother, and nice job by the brother combination right there, stopping the Wolves in the backfield. The Wolves not trying to gamble with anything too big, as it's going to be 4th and long for the Wolves at their own 45-yard line, and they will surely kick the ball away here. Doing the punting duties tonight for South Kitsap. Their first punt of the evening is number 9, Leon Ledoux. Ledoux standing at about his 32-yard line, and he's going to get a low end-over-end kick going, and it takes a Wolves bounce. It's going to be fielded, looks like, by the back man, and he has taken down a big hit right there. That is number 3. That is Amani, who had the ball. Looked like he was going to let it roll. He picked it up near his own 10-yard line, and he gets it down near the 20. So not much on the gain, but Franklin Pierce is going to have the ball at their own 19-yard line. So Franklin Pierce coming out for their second series on offense. The first time they were unsuccessful. They got down to about the Wolves' 40-yard line, but a couple of penalties and a turnover on downs. As Franklin Pierce comes back out in that spread offense, they're going to fake the handoff. There's a fumble on the play. It looked like Brooks Roy was trying to fake the handoff to Charles McKellen, and we weren't sure if he was handing the ball off to him or not, and it looked like he was going to pull it back, but he just left it out there a little too long, and the two collided and resulted in a fumble. But they did get the ball back, so it's going to be 2nd and 12 for Franklin Pierce as they come out in that spread offense once again. They're going to run the option, and they pitch the ball to McKellen, and McKellen's going to get a little bit back on the play. McClellan, nice job there. We're trying to get the name straight up here. This is quite the menu of names that we have for Franklin Pierce, and but McClellan did a nice job of getting a little bit of that back, and it's going to be about 8 yards in the play. It'll be 3rd and 5 for Franklin Pierce, as it is now just under a minute left here in the first quarter of play. Franklin Pierce back out in that spread formation. McClellan, they're going to run the pitch, and it's going to run the option, and Roy keeps the ball. He gets close to the first down. Not quite, though. Looks like they're going to spot the ball just past the 25-yard line. It'll be 4th and 2, and I don't think Franklin Pierce will be gambling with a 4th down play here, as they are appearing to kick the ball away. But with 20 seconds remaining, I don't even know if Franklin Pierce is even going to get this off, so we'll see. But South Kitsap looks like they're going to have a very comfortable 14-0 lead heading to the end of the first quarter of play. We'll see if they do snap it before it is over, and they do. It's a low snap. The kick is up, and it's off the side of the foot. It's off the side of the foot as the ball goes out of bounds.
And the ball goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
It's out of bounds at the 44-yard line, and what an unfortunate break for Franklin Pierce, as that is the end of the first quarter of play, and Franklin Pierce trails South Kitsap 14-0 here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. And normally in this situation, my cohort and partner D-Rod would be giving some great analysis of the football game, but unfortunately he's not here. D-Rod, we miss you. We hope you're having a great time, and we can't wait to see you back up here in the booth. So I'll pick up the slack for you and let you know that the Wolves are doing an excellent job on offense here, sustaining some drives, and they're going to have excellent field position again to start the second quarter of play, as they are going to have the ball at the Franklin Pierce 44-yard line. So a mixture of the run and the pass. We're starting to see recap here. South Kitsap scored first on their first offensive series with a 1-yard touchdown run by Sean Allison. And on their next offensive series, they were able to get a 30-yard touchdown pass play. The pass went about 10 yards, and Jared Moore for the South Kitsap Wolves had a great catch and run for a touchdown, and he was able to get that extra 20 yards, escaped 5 would-be tacklers, and he gets into the end zone for the score. And that's where we stand right now, as the Wolves lead Franklin Pierce 14-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter of play. As the Wolves come out once again in the I formation, they're going to hand the ball off to the running back Sean Allison. He's met in the backfield. There's a new quarterback, Brian Dorsey, the 6-foot senior, who has been out for the last couple of weeks with a minor knee injury, but he is back in now at quarterback, and looks like he will be sharing the duties with Gordy Anderson. And the first handoff is a running play, as we have an officials timeout down on the field. We have an officials timeout down on the field, as they are calling the officials from the sidelines. Brian Dorsey, the senior, back in at quarterback here, sharing the duties tonight with Gordy Anderson, and we'll see how he does. Like we said, he is coming off of a minor knee injury, and he looks like he is up and running and in health, good health, and doing really well. So we'll see how his arm holds up. It's been a while since he's been throwing the ball around. Been getting a little bit of throwing into practice during this week, and it's been really good to have him back and taking snaps under center, as the officials meeting now is broken up, and the players are coming back out, and it's going to be second, and we're going to call this 6 yards for the Wolves. The Cardinals fake the blitz, and Dorsey, he's looking for a man. He's got a man on the slant, and that's Leon Ledoux. He's able to stretch the ball across the 30-yard line, and looks like he was able to stretch that ball out a little bit further than that, but it is a first down nonetheless, and the Wolves are going to have the ball at the Franklin Pierce 31-yard line. So South Kitsap doing a real nice job on offense. South Kitsap with the nice pass play right there. Dorsey's arm looked really good there. Hits Ledoux. The ball was thrown just a hair bit behind, but not too much. And Ledoux was able to make the catch as the Wolves come out, split wide receivers. Dorsey is going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got a man out in the flat. He floats it out there. Nice pass, nice catch. Very nice catch. That's Pea, and he's going to get out at the 26-yard line. So a gain of about 5 on the play. Nice fake by Dorsey. He rolled out to his right. He just threw a nice little floater out there. Pea made the nice catch, and he was able to run out of bounds with the ball where the clock is stopped with 10:57 remaining here in the first half of play. South Kitsap will have the ball at the Franklin Pierce 26-yard line. Isaiah Davis split to the far side of the field. Pea and at fullback. They're going to hand the ball up to, that's Robert Issa once again. Oh, nice run by Issa. Got near the first down marker, started driving those knees, and he was able to get past the 20-yard line, and it's going to be a first down for the Wolves at at Franklin Pierce's 19-yard line. Nice run by Robert Issa. We talk a lot about Sean Allison and Ryan Williams, but you also throw in Robert Issa, another tailback in there, and he does a great job. So the Wolves have 3 very good running backs here this evening. So they're all sharing the duties as Jared Moore and Leon Ladeau still in at wide receiver. Pea is in at the fullback position. Under center is Dorsey. He's going to hand the ball off to Ryan Williams. There goes Williams, but he's taken down at the knees, and not before he's slow to get up, but nice job by Williams there on the carry. He's going to get about 4 yards on the play. We're going to call it 2nd and 6 for the Wolves, and they're going to place that ball at the Franklin Pierce 15-yard line. So South Kitsap being led by the senior Brian Dorsey in on this series of offensive plays here. Gordy Anderson playing in the first quarter. Looks like Dorsey might get the call here in the second quarter as the Wolves sustaining a nice drive here. They come out an I formation once again. Dorsey looks to his man on the near side. They're going to fake in the hand the ball straight up the middle. There goes Ryan Williams, and he's buried forward. Nice job by Williams. Looked like he was going to go straight down, but not until he gets just over the 10-yard line. He gets close to that first down marker, but it is going to be just a hair bit short, where it is going to be 3rd and inches for that first down. The ball's going to be at the 10-yard line. So we're going to call it 3rd and short for the Wolves. Number 13 for the Wolves, Sean Korf, comes into the game. Dorsey still in at quarterback. Franklin Pierce trying to get a big stop here on defense. Leon Ladeau split into the near side of the field, looking over to the sideline. The Wolves come out in that power I formation. Ryan Williams in at tailback. Dorsey under center. He's going to hand the ball off to Williams. He's got a big block. There goes Ryan Williams. Oh, and he's hit hard. Continues to drive that ball forward. Nice job by Williams. He was stopped by 2 Cardinals near the goal line, got down to about the 2. The Wolves will have a first down, and it will be placed at the 2-yard line. Now it looks like it's going to be the 3. It looks like he was able to get a little bit closer than that. But nice run by Williams there. That power I formation, and with the blocking up front by that big offensive line, South Kitsap creating a big opening for the Wolves. So South Kitsap's going to have a 1st and goal here at the Franklin Pierce 3-yard line with 8:45 remaining, leading 14-0 and trying to add to that total. Dorsey's going to hand the ball off to Williams again. Oh, and he's hit hard, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he's going to have a gain of any kind, and he is not. He ran to his left side, and a big wall hit him, and he went from forwards to backwards. But so the Wolves are unsuccessful on that first down play. No gain, and it will be 2nd and 3 for the Wolves at the Cardinal 3-yard line. The Wolves coming out in that power I formation. Leon Ladeau split to the near side of the field. It looks pretty much like a run. We'll see how it is. Dorsey is going to hand the ball off to Williams again, and he is stopped once again. That was Rhodes and Pea in the backfield, but Franklin Pierce getting in through that offensive line, creating some trouble for the Wolves offense. And in fact, they may have even lost a yard on the play, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the Franklin Pierce 4-yard line. So South Kitsap got all the way down inside the red zone. They've had a little trouble getting that ball into the end zone from up close. And the Wolves are going to come out once again in that power I formation. They're trying to wear down that defensive line. Dorsey is going to look for the slant, and he's got Leon Ladeau, and there's the pass and the catch, and it's a touchdown for the Wolves. Leon Ladeau with the 4-yard touchdown pass play from Brian Dorsey. And with 7:15 to go here in the game in the first half, South Kitsap now up on the board 20-0. So nice job by Brian Dorsey, and he looks like he is back from that knee injury. South Kitsap doing a nice job here. Had struggled a little bit on a couple of runs, but they ran that little 4-yard slant play to Leon Ladeau as he went into the end zone. Nice catch by Ladeau, and to hang on to the ball as the Wolves go for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. And South Kitsap now leads. 21-0 with 7:15 left here in the first half of play. And South Kitsap doing an excellent job on offense, and it's not really a blowout. We're seeing some pretty good football here by both teams. Franklin Pierce just unable to get a little break here. They got that spread offense, and it's been working a little bit, but the Wolves, excellent job stopping them on defense. All they've done is made a couple of plays, defensive stops, and the Wolves are in business. So South Kitsap doing a nice job here. They'll be kicking off. Drew Klopstein doing an excellent job of the kicking for the Wolves here. 3 good extra points, and the Wolves lead 21-0 with 7:15 left here in the first half of play. A couple of touchdown passes. Sean Allison with a 1-yard touchdown run. Gordy Anderson with a 30-yard touchdown pass play to Jared Moore, both in the first quarter. And then Brian Dorsey with a 4-yard touchdown pass on the slant to Leon Ladeau, as the Wolves are going to kick off to the Cardinals here. And it is going to be deep, and it's going to be fielded by Franklin Pierce at their own 15-yard line. They cut back up the middle, and they got a little bit, not much room though. Nice hit there on defense. That's number 68, Ricky Bloss. And Ricky Bloss just sends that runner down to the ground. Nice job by Antonio Turner, but Mr. Bloss made his introduction to Mr. Turner and said, hello, go down to the ground. Ricky Bloss, the big sophomore coming in for the Wolves there, as South Kitsap is going to be trying to stop this high-powered offense as the Cardinals comes out in that spread formation. They have 4 wide receivers. They send one man in motion to the near side of the field. Brooks Roy waiting for him to get set. He looks to his left. He's going to go for the home run ball. He's got nobody. Then he starts running up the middle, and he tries to juke and jive his way, and he gets down. Nice tackle there on defense by the Wolves. That's Sean Allison on the tackle, and he gets down to the 35-yard line. Nice job on defense there by the Wolves. And there was nothing open there for the Franklin Pierce Cardinals, but Brooks Roy did a nice job of scrambling, staying on his feet, and getting to the 34-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals as they come out again in that spread formation. Brooks Roy in that shotgun. They're going to hand the ball off to the running back, and he hits the line hard. Nice run there by the tailback. That's number 9, Andrew Quem, the tailback with the carry. Nice job by Quem, and he gets close to the first down. So Franklin Pierce with the run, and it's going to be 3rd and short for the Cardinals, and they need to get to the 40-yard line. The ball is at the 38. So Franklin Pierce trying to sustain. They haven't had a first down since that first offensive series. In the first quarter, they had a couple of big plays. They come out again in that spread formation, 4 wide receivers. They send one man to the far side in motion. Brooks Roy's going to hand the ball off. There he goes. There's Quem once again. He's going to get, and he's taken down from behind. Nice tackle by the Wolves. Quem needed to get to the 40, and he did not. In fact, he's going to lose a yard on the play, and it's going to be 4th and 3. Nice defensive stop there by the Wolves. Sean Allison came running in from behind and was able to get Quem and take him down. So Not only is he doing it on offense, but he's also doing it on defense. Nice stop there by Sean Allison, and the Cardinals are going to be forced to punt the ball away. Isaiah Davis and Jared Moore back to receive the kick. They're both standing just inside their 25-yard line. Franklin Pierce, a little high snap. The kick is up, and it's a good kick. It's going to be fielded by Davis at his own 27-yard line. He kind of fumbles the ball. He spins around, stays on his feet, spins around once again, and he's still staying on his feet until he's finally dragged down. What a nice run by Isaiah Davis. Caught the ball, fielded the ball about the 27-yard line, fumbled it, spun around about 3 times, hit by about 20,000 tacklers, and he was still able to get the ball past the 40-yard line. The Wolves are going to have a first down at their own 41. So nice job by Isaiah Davis fielding the punt and gaining some extra yards. It's about 14 yards on the play, 14 hard-earned yards on that return. So the Wolves, looking to do some damage here, would love to get on the scoreboard once again with 4:48 remaining in the game. South Kitsap leading 21-0 with 4:48 left here in the first half, and they would really like to get on the board once again as they have 2 wide receivers split in that I formation. They're going to, Gordy Anderson's now back in. They pitch the ball to Ryan Williams. He breaks to the outside. He makes a nice little cut until he's forced out of bounds. Nice run by Ryan Williams. Cut to the outside on the near side of the field. The ball's going to be placed at the 43-yard line, but not until the Wolves get a first down. First down for the Wolves. Nice job by Ryan Williams. Once again, talking about that the triple play of the triple threat of the running backs that the South Kitsap Wolves have in Robert Issa, Ryan Williams, and Sean Allison. And Ryan Williams in at tailback right now. He's standing near his own 50-yard line. Gordy Anderson's going to fake the handoff. Nice fake by Anderson. He's got a man out in the flat. Oh, and the ball is caught. I believe it is, and it is. Nice catch. Nice job by, that's Ricky Gillespie. Gillespie, that was the same pattern that he ran earlier in the game. It was just a little bit thrown outside, but this time Anderson hit him right on the money, and it was a nice catch by Gillespie. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 5 for the Wolves. So South Kitsap trying to do some more damage here as the clock winds down. Nearing 4 minutes as South Kitsap is at the Franklin Pierce, call it the 38-yard line. 2 wide receivers, one in the slot on the near side of the field. Anderson's going to hand the ball off to the tailback. That goes Ryan Williams. He tries to bounce to the outside. He stays on his feet. A would-be tackler misses. He's going to bounce out to the outside. Oh, and he's taken down, but not until Williams gets out to the outside. Nice run by Ryan Williams. He cut straight up the middle, was hit by a man, was able to bounce off of him, broke almost 90 degrees to his right, bounced to the outside, and gets down to the Franklin Pierce 28-yard line for a first down. So nice job by Williams as he comes out, and he's going to have a little bit of a breather here. Gordy Anderson back in at quarterback, the junior for the Wolves. Isaiah Davis in at receiver, along with number 88. They're going to hand the ball off to Robert Issa. Yes, that is Robert Issa. Issa just barrels his way forward. Number 88, Ronnie Smith, was also in at wide receiver. Issa gets down to the 20-yard line. He's going to be a couple of yards short. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 20-yard line. So nearing 3 minutes left here in the first half of play. Got a nice little crowd here at Joe Knowles Field, South Kitsap High School, as South Kitsap breaks the huddle. 3rd and 2, probably a couple of down territory. Gordy Anderson under center. He's going to go for the quick pass, and he's got the man on the slant, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Isaiah Davis. A 20-yard touchdown pass and reception from Gordy Anderson to Isaiah Davis, the junior to the sophomore, and it looked like there was some blown coverage there because Isaiah Davis was wide open and just danced into the end zone. Nice job by the offensive line blocking up front, but Gordy Anderson had Isaiah Davis in his sights the whole time, looking to his left. Davis just ran a little slant, kept going in. Anderson hit him on the money, and Davis went in for the touchdown. The 3rd touchdown pass of the evening as the extra point is up, and it is good. So just like that, the Wolves get on the board, and they lead Franklin Pierce 28-0. The first play of the game, the first touchdown of the game, was a 1-yard touchdown run by Sean Allison. And then we've had 3 touchdown passes since then. A 20-yard touchdown pass. The second, Gordy Anderson has 2 of them. A 20-yard touchdown pass to Jared Moore, and just that 20-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Davis. So the number 20 seems to be fitting both Gordy Anderson and his wide receivers tonight. And then the other one was the senior Brian Dorsey, who was back from a minor knee injury and is in now and looking real healthy and did an excellent job at quarterback. And he hit Leon Ladeau with a 4-yard touchdown pass. So 1 touchdown run, 3 pass plays, and just like that, South Kitsap leads Franklin Pierce 28-0 with 2:49 remaining here in the first half of play. So South Kitsap doing a real nice job on offense here, and also on a nice job on defense as well, trying to handle that spread offense formation by Franklin Pierce as they send back 2 deep wide receivers once again. Klopstein, he kicks the ball a little bit short this time. It's going to bounce out of bounds, and the penalty flag goes down on the field. When the kickoff goes out of bounds, there is a penalty flag, and the receiving team will receive the ball with excellent field position. So we will see where they spot the ball, and Franklin Pierce is going to start this last series, most likely their last series on offense before halftime. Franklin Pierce would love to get on the board here and sustain some kind of a drive before halftime, as the ball is going to be automatically placed at the 35-yard line. So South Kitsap looking to stop them defensively. Franklin Pierce will have the ball at their own 35-yard line after the kick by Drew Klopstein went out of bounds. So Franklin Pierce comes out once again with that spread offense, but this time they send trips wide receivers to the far side of the field. Brooks Roy in that shotgun formation, looking over the defense, a high snap. He's looking around. He doesn't have a whole lot in there. Oh, and he just threw it just a little bit behind. The wide receiver ran a nice route. The intended receiver was number 2, Josh Moore. He made a nice cut, but Roy accidentally threw the ball just a little to the outside when Moore cut to the inside. And so the pass is incomplete, and it will be 2nd and down from the Franklin Pierce 35-yard line. And there's still a lot of time left here in this first half with 2:44 remaining. Franklin Pierce better be careful. The Wolves might be able to get the ball back one last time before halftime. Spread 4 wide receivers once again. Roy in that shotgun. He's being chased out of the pocket a little bit. Oh, and he's almost gotten, and then a nice catch. The ball was caught. Nice pass play. Roy did hit the intended receiver near the first down marker. That's Aaron Mann. He catches the ball, and I believe it is going to be a first down. We'll have to wait and see where they spot it. And it is a nice, that was a big catch play, catch and reception play from Roy to Mann. Looks like there's going to be a little stoppage of play. I think they're going to measure it here, but I don't know why they're going to measure it, because they had to get to the 35-yard line, and it looks like the ball is at the 35, but you never know, game of inches. So we will see where they are. Officials timeout for a measurement here, and it is going to be a first down. So Franklin Pierce with the nice big pass play. Roy hits Mann, and they catch the ball. They get the ball at their own 45-yard line, and with 2:15 remaining, Franklin Pierce needs to get some points on the board going into halftime after they're trailing 28-0 here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. So Roy, once again in that shotgun formation, he looks to his right, now looking to his left. He's got a man. Oh, and he just overthrows, and it was tipped. The intended receiver was number 3. That's Imani. It made a cut to the inside. It was thrown just a little bit high, and he tipped the ball up. It went up as Franklin Pierce has a man down on the far side of the field near the 32-yard line. And we'll see what we hope that that young man is okay, as he is looks like to be in quite a bit of pain down there. And South Kitsap here is taking advantage of a little bit of stoppage of play. Looks like he'll be all right. Franklin Pierce is going to have a 2nd and 10 from their own 45-yard line. 2:07 remaining after the incomplete pass. And Franklin Pierce is going to try and get something done here on offense. They would really like to get some points on the board before halftime. Otherwise, it's going to be a long ride home tonight back to Franklin Pierce. South Kitsap off to a very good start tonight. Couple of nice sustained offensive drives. 1 touchdown run by Sean Allison, 2 touchdown passes by Gordy Anderson, and 1 touchdown pass by Brian Dorsey. And the Wolves are in business and have capitalized on all but one of their offensive series. South Kitsap has only had to punt the ball once, and they are doing an excellent job on offense. So we will see how everything is going here, as there's still a man down for Franklin Pierce, and we're not sure what had happened to the wide receiver. We can't quite see who that is down there, but they were writhing in pain a little bit, so we're hoping that everything's going to be all right for that young man, for Franklin Pierce, as Patrick Olson, the head of the head trainer for the South Kitsap High School Athletic Department, also wanders out there to give a hand. South Kitsap enjoying a beautiful evening of football here tonight. The weather cooling off just a little bit after wonderful, wonderful temperatures in the 80s, in the low 80s for about the last week. South Kitsap enjoying a nice start of the season, their first home game of the year 2 weeks ago, as they hosted the cross-rival, division rival Stadium Tigers and soundly defeated them 44-6. And then the Wolves traveled to Silverdale Stadium and unfortunately lost a huge game to the CK Cougars 14-13, which has become one of the biggest rivalry games in the state of Washington. But the Wolves are bouncing back very nicely with a comfortable 28-0 lead here before halftime of this game. The delay that we have here is there is a player down for Franklin Pierce on the far side of the field near the sidelines. One of the wide receivers was running a route, and we couldn't see exactly what had happened. And the young man went down on the field, and he is comfortably laying there, and we have the necessary people who are attending to him. So we are trying to see what is happening, and we can only hope that this young man will be just fine. He's in very good hands down there, and he was moving around quite a bit, and so that is a good sign that he was doing so, lying still right now, but I'm sure he's going to be just fine. So South Kitsap in the Narrows League this year, welcoming another new team, well, not exactly too new, but with all of the changes in classification amongst all of the different levels of high schools in the state of Washington, welcoming back the Shelton High Climbers, who are now back in the Narrows League once again. The Narrows League watching the another rival of South Kitsap for quite some time now, North Kitsap, the North Kitsap Vikings, who have dropped to the 3A level and are part of the Olympic 2A, 3A league. So North Kitsap leaving the Narrows League, but Shelton coming in, and it is again another very difficult, tough conference once again, not just for football, but for all sports across the board. As we are here on this evening, September 19th, 2008, the third high school football game of the week for the South Kitsap Wolves and for the Franklin Pierce Cardinals. Franklin Pierce in the South Puget Sound 3A League, which includes teams such as Clover Park and Lakes, a very, very tough league that Franklin Pierce is in as well. Here in the greater District 3, 3A, 4A schools, including Tacoma, Federal Way, and extending to the Narrows League all the way over here. Some some of the top teams in football, basketball, baseball, track and field, you name it. And everybody has just some dominating teams, as we will be seeing. So once again, a little recap here with 2:07 remaining in the first half of play. We have the South Kitsap Wolves leading Franklin Pierce 28-0 as they are now going to bring a stretcher out onto the field, hopefully only as a precautionary measure. And we still aren't able to see who it is for Franklin Pierce that is laying down on the field. But it looked like the young man was in pain, and but like we said, they're in very good hands, and we can only hope for the best for this young man, that he will be all right. So he's in very good care. A combination of Franklin Pierce's athletic medicine training staff and South Kitsap High School's athletic medicine staff, who at one point in the state of Washington won 8 straight athletic medicine competition championships, which is unparalleled by an athletic medicine program here in the state of Washington. So a very nice job to Patrick Olson and the athletic trainers and the kids at for South Kitsap High School. One of the new trainers, the new athletic medicine trainer for South Kitsap High School, new to the staff this year, Elizabeth Kingen, who is assisting Patrick Olson, and she is an excellent addition to the South Kitsap High School staff and has fit right in just well. So as the stretcher is now out on the field, head coach DJ Sigurdsson also out on the field. As they are carefully lifting the young man onto the stretcher. Once again, it is a wide receiver for Franklin Pierce, and we were unable to get a name and number for this young man, but I'm sure he's going to be just fine. As he is in excellent care right now. We have emergency staff, medic staff on the field, along with athletic medicine trainers, and I know that they'll take real good care of him, and he's going to be just fine. Again, like we said, we couldn't really see what had happened. Looked like a young man was, the wide receiver for Franklin Pierce was running his route, and we didn't quite see what had happened. If there was any contact or if he was just running. Could be a hamstring muscle. We're not really sure what it is. And but he is unable to walk off on his own power, but this young man will be in good care, and they will cart him off the field and make sure that everything is okay. Not exactly the kind of thing that we like to see here, but that's the one risk that we have with high school football. And like I said, this young man will be just fine, and we wish him the best. The South Kitsap High School marching band is on the scoreboard end of the track, getting ready to perform at halftime after performing the national anthem, led by Gary Grahams, the band director, doing an excellent job the last few years with our high school band, going to many competitions and doing an excellent job with this program. And like we said, we have a very nice crowd here tonight in the stands. So another big crowd here tonight for the Wolves. The medics are still attending to the wide receiver for Franklin Pierce, making sure he is stabilized before they cart him off the field. And there he goes. They're taking him off the field now. He's nice and stabilized. Nice big applause. Well, once again, we wish the young man very well for Franklin Pierce. We still didn't get a name or a number, but we want to wish him well, and he's in good hands, and we hope to see him back in the second half, actually. That'd be great to see him back up, bouncing around, running around, and everything. So I'm sure that he'll be just fine as both teams are coming out now. We'll be ready for after this stoppage of play, as South Kitsap will be on defense. Franklin Pierce is going to have the ball. There's 2:07 left remaining here in the first half. Franklin Pierce is going to send 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Brooks Roy still in the shotgun, and he's going to roll out to his left. He's looking deep in the man in the flat, and he's got him, but he overthrows him. The intended receiver was Charles McClellan. And McClellan was not able to make the reception. The pass is incomplete. And it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Franklin Pierce. So Franklin Pierce, with the incomplete pass, they will have the ball at their own 45-yard line. And with 2:02 remaining here, this is a big offensive play, because if they do not get the first down, I would imagine that the Wolves might call timeout. They still have all 3 timeouts remaining and could still sustain some kind of a drive to get the ball into the end zone right before halftime. So Franklin Pierce with 4 split wide receivers. Roy in the shotgun. He's going to fake the handoff, roll to his left. He's got a man in the flat, and he does hit him. The pass is complete, and he goes out of bounds, but he did not get the first down. The pass was caught by number 30, Aram Mann. But he's going to be a few yards shy of the first down, and it's going to be 4th and short. Franklin Pierce will have the ball at the South Kitsap 48-yard line. This is a big play here by Franklin Pierce. They only need, in fact, we're going to call it 4 yards. We're going to call it 3 yards. They need 3 yards. They've got to get down to the 44-yard line, as there is going to be a timeout on the field. Franklin Pierce calls a timeout, so we thought maybe that was the Wolves calling timeout on that play, but they did not, and that means that South Kitsap will have all 3 timeouts remaining. So this is a big stop here. Can the Wolves stop Franklin Pierce at 4th and 3 from the South Kitsap 48-yard line? Franklin Pierce needs to get to the 45-yard line, and if so, they will keep their drive alive. Otherwise, South Kitsap most likely will call a timeout if they stop him here on this big play. South Kitsap in a prevent defense. They've been in it all night with this spread offense by Franklin Pierce. So South Kitsap looking to have a big stop here, and they would love to get the ball back with 1:55 remaining here in the first half of play, leading Franklin Pierce 28-0, and they would enjoy nothing more than going up about 35-0 if they could before half. So here is a big play before halftime as Franklin Pierce comes out. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Roy in that shotgun. He's been in the shotgun all night. A little high snap. He's going to do the wraparound handoff to the tailback. Wraparound handoff to Charles McClellan. And he's able to, I don't know if he did get it. I think he did. He needed to get to the 45-yard line. He did, and it is a first down. Roy faked the pass, and McClellan just stood right there. And instead of handing the ball off in the traditional fashion, Roy reached around and handed the ball off to McClellan, and he did get the first down. So Franklin Pierce on the move here as they have a first down at the South Kitsap 45-yard line with 1:38, and the clock is ticking. They send 4 wide receivers out. Brooks Roy in the shotgun. He's going to get the snap. He's going to look, drop straight back. He fakes, and he's got a man out in the flat, and it's just underthrown. The intended receiver was number 30 once again. That's been one of his favorite receivers, Aaron Mann. The pass is incomplete. He was streaking on the flat, heading to the far side of the field. The pass is incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for Franklin Pierce. And there is 1:27 remaining here in the first half of play. South Kitsap looking to stop Franklin Pierce. If anything, they would love to see the ball stay inbounds and keep that clock running. Franklin Pierce with only a couple of timeouts left. Trips wide receivers to the far side. Roy is going to roll to his right. He's got a couple of men, and he's being flushed out of the pocket. He just gets rid of it before he gets drilled. Nice job, and then a penalty flag comes flying in late. I don't know what that call is, if it's pass interference. If it is, that is a huge play for Franklin Pierce. I certainly didn't see any, but it looked like the indication was that. Roy rolled out to his right and was just smashed by the defensive line, but he was able to get the ball off beforehand. But there was a penalty flag way down at the 20-yard line. We'll have to wait and see what the call is. And it is, so it's going to be a pass interference against South Kitsap. So just like that, Franklin Pierce now has the ball at the South Kitsap 30-yard line. This is what Franklin Pierce wanted to do with 1:15 left here in the game. Roy's going to roll, look to his left. He's got a couple of men, and he does. He's hitting a man. Oh, and the ball is caught. The ball is caught. They were signaling. That's what we thought. Now it is signaled incomplete. The sideline official was going to the spot, looking like it was a reception, but the back judge was signaling incomplete. So were all of the South Kitsap high school coaches also signaling an incomplete pass, which it was. And more importantly, it stops the clock. With 1:04 remaining here in the first half, Franklin Pierce has the ball at the South Kitsap 30-yard line. We'll call it the 29-yard line. 2nd and 10 for Franklin Pierce. Roy takes the snap. He looks to his right. He's still focusing on his right. He's got a man. Oh, and it's just off the fingertips, and another penalty flag comes flying in a little bit late. And it's a hold on Franklin Pierce. So just like that, the pass was incomplete, and there was a flag thrown right where Roy was. There's a tongue twister for you. Brooks Roy had the ball, and then a penalty flag came flying in, but that's in the area of holding. So scoot Franklin Pierce back 10 more yards from the spot of the foul. The penalty flag is lying at the 32-yard line. Scoot that all the way back to the 42-yard line. So Franklin Pierce is going to have 2nd down and forever with just under 1 minute left here in the first half of play. Still trailing South Kitsap 28-0, but still trying to get on the board, and they are not going away. Franklin Pierce sends 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field, 1 lone wide receiver to the far side. Brooks Roy in that shotgun formation once again. McClain is the lone setback. They're going to set up the screen, and they do, but the Wolves are right there to stuff it. Nice job by the Wolves there on defense. Excellent job on defense. That's number 33, Robert Issa. McClain was right there. He just went right through the line of scrimmage looking for that little pass play for the screen, and Robert Issa was right there to stop it. Nice job by the Wolves on defense, and there is a timeout. A timeout by South Kitsap, and it's going to be 2nd down and forever. 46 seconds left here in the first half of play. This game taking quite a while here in the first half. South Kitsap, nice defensive stop there. Robert Issa stopped the screen pass to McClain. Roy had the man there. He was looking to his right the whole way. Didn't quite sell it very well. And he dumped it off to the screen man, McClain, but Robert Issa on defense was right there to stop it. So South Kitsap doing their homework on the scouting report and doing an excellent job of stopping that right there. So timeout by South Kitsap. They're thinking actually it is 3rd down and about 22 to go. And if Franklin Pierce does not get the first down here, I'm sure South Kitsap will be calling a timeout. which they might be able to get the ball back, go for a block punt. Anything could happen here before the first half is over. So the Cardinals break the huddle. They go back to their spread offense, 2 wide receivers on both sides. McClain is the lone setback. Brooks in the shotgun. He's going to take it, do another wraparound to McClain. Oh, and he's just dragged behind, and that was a big tackle by T.J. Rhodes. T.J. Rhodes, if he doesn't take down McClain, McClain has a lot of room to run because all the wide receivers were streaking down the field, and there was nobody there. So nice tackle by T.J. Rhodes, and just as we thought, South Kitsap calling the timeout here. It is 4th and long, and Franklin Pierce will have the ball at the South Kitsap 41-yard line. We can only imagine that Franklin Pierce is most likely going to kick the ball away. I don't think this is go-for-it territory. If they went for it, they would give South Kitsap excellent field position if they did not get the first down. Kicking the ball away would be the wisest thing to do and get that ball deep down into South Kitsap territory, forcing them to go almost the length of the field. So with 36 seconds left in the first half, South Kitsap leads Franklin Pierce 28-0. South Kitsap coming out. Jared Moore is back to receive. And I'm sure that he has been given instructions, do not fumble that ball or just let it go sailing over your head. So here we go. Franklin Pierce is going to kick the ball away. Jared Moore is the lone man back, and now they're going to send another man back to help him out. That's number 31, Brady Zern, the senior. There's the kick, and it is up, and it is a little bit off the side of his foot, and they tried to field it, and it goes out of bounds. Jared Moore came racing over there, but there are 29 seconds remaining in the game, and South Kitsap is going to have the ball, but that's kind of what Franklin Pierce wanted to do. They're going to kick the ball away, and they're going to force South Kitsap. They're going to need to go 89 yards. They're going to place the ball at the South Kitsap 11-yard line. I can't imagine South Kitsap trying to get a little too cute here. They might just try a running play and run the timeout and have a comfortable 28-0 lead, but you never know. As the senior, Brian Dorsey, comes back into the game at quarterback, Pea and Allison are in the tailback, or in the backfield, and they're just going to run a play to Sean Allison. He bounces out to the left side. He's going to get to the first down, but they're going to stop the ball near the first down. I don't know if he actually got it. I think he might be just a little bit short. The ball was at the South Kitsap 11, and he is. He's going to be just a couple yards short. It's going to be 2nd down and 2 for the Wolves. The ball is at the South Kitsap 20-yard line. They need actually about a yard. So South Kitsap coming out here. The ball went out of bounds, so 24 seconds left here before halftime. They're going to pitch the ball to Allison. He's going to try and bounce off to the right side. There goes Allison. Oh, and he's taken down from behind. The clock will be stopped, but South Kitsap will probably just let the clock run out here with a nice, comfortable 28-0 lead with 17 ticks left on the clock. Dorsey, they have a hurry-up offense. They're going to try and run one more play here. They could go for the deep ball, throw up the Hail Mary, and there's a pass play to Leon Ladeau, and he gets down. I don't see, and they're going to call a timeout, and they are. South Kitsap is going to call a timeout with 7 seconds remaining here in the first half. Dorsey hit Ladeau with a little out play near the 30-yard line. The ball will be at the 30-yard line. So South Kitsap has 70 yards to go in 7.9 seconds. And we'll see if the Wolves come out and maybe throw up the old Hail Mary. We could also see something like the old hook and ladder. But knowing South Kitsap and the way they run things, they probably will just try and run one kind of play, not get too cute, go into halftime with a big lead, and come out and try and dominate in the second half of play as well. So South Kitsap breaks the timeout here. Jared Moore is split to the far side of the field. Leon Ladeau to the near side. The ball's at the 30-yard line. Pea and Allison in the backfield. Dorsey under center. He's going to take a 3-step drop. They're going to run the old fake play, and he grabs the quarterback. Dorsey escapes. He tries to run up. Dorsey pump fake. He pump faked more, but nice coverage there on defense by Franklin Pierce. And that is it. The pass, well, there was no pass. Dorsey stayed on his feet, was scooted forward, and the time ran out. And so South Kitsap will go into halftime with a 28-0 lead. So South Kitsap with 1 touchdown run and 3 touchdown passes, 2 by Gordy Anderson and 1 by Brian Dorsey, as the South Kitsap Wolves enjoy a comfortable 28-0 lead over Franklin Pierce here in the 3rd week of high school football here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. We will take a short break, so we encourage you and hope you enjoy the sights and the sounds of the South Kitsap High School Marching Band under the direction of Gary Grahams, and we'll see you after halftime.
Tonight's halftime show is presented for your enjoyment by the South Kitsap High School Marching Band under the direction of Gary Grahams. Directing tonight's show are senior drum majors Chris Cooper and junior drum major Paula Santos. Tonight they will be performing 3 songs of a 4-song selection from the rock band Styx, which include the hit songs Mr. Rabata, featuring junior trumpeter Andrew Kroc, the medley AD 1928 Rockin' the Paradise, featuring senior trumpeter Alex Tudor, and Too Much Time on My Hands, featuring the drum section and Bud Berry on bass guitar. Drum majors would like to thank the band section leaders, parents, and South Kitsap School District for their hard work, dedication, and support of the band. Ladies and gentlemen, your halftime show, the South Kitsap Marching Band.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of play here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. The South Kitsap Wolves are enjoying a comfortable 28-0 lead as the Wolves are going to kick off to Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce tried to get on the board in the at the end of the first half of play, but were unable to do so, and the Wolves had the ball back but did not score. As the Wolves are going to kick off, it's going to be fielded by the Cardinals straight up the middle. There's a penalty flag that comes down that was number 3, Amani, on the carry. Lamatasuli was able to get the reception, but on the kickoff return, the penalty flag came out, and that's usually in the area of a block in the back. And Lamatasuli will have his run back for naught. As Franklin Pierce, the ball is at the 28-yard line, but it's going to be scooted back due to the block in the back. So quick recap as South Kitsap 28-0 lead, spreading the offense and the scoring duties. The first touchdown of the game came on a 1-yard touchdown run by Sean Allison after a very nice drive by the Wolves on offense. As Franklin Pierce comes out, they are at the South Kitsap 14-yard line, or excuse me, they're at their own 14-yard line. That spread offense, they're going to blow the play dead before it gets off. And a couple of penalty flags right off the bat is not the way that Franklin Pierce wants to start this second half of play. So scoot them back 5 more yards. They were at the 14, and now the ball will be placed at the 9-yard line. So Franklin Pierce is going to have the ball deep in their own territory. In fact, we're going to call it the 8-yard line. No, it is the 9-yard line. We're going back and forth here, trying to see all the way up here in the booth. So Franklin Pierce comes out in that spread offense. 4 wide receivers. The lone setback. And Roy is going to look to his right. He's got a man that looks left, and he starts to run. He's got a lot of room. He cuts back up the middle. Oh, nice hit by T.J. Rhodes. The quarterback draw there by Roy as he wanted to throw it first, but then he took off running to his left, tried to cut back near the middle of the field. And T.J. Rhodes was right there, but Brooks Roy gets a little bit back on the play, gets past the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd and 8 for Franklin Pierce. So the ball is at the Franklin Pierce 15-yard line. They come out with trips to the near side of the field. Roy takes the snap, looks to his right once again. He's got a man out in the flat. And nice pass reception there. The receiver was Amani. Lamatasuli was the receiver on the catch. And it's going to be a first down. They get the ball out to the 35-yard, or excuse me, the 25-yard line. First down for Franklin Pierce. So after a couple of big penalties, Franklin Pierce starting at their own 9-yard line, they get all the way out to their own 25-yard line. A nice job here. Now they're going to spread the field to the far side, forcing the Wolves out on defense, opening it out. Roy's going to look to his left. He's got a man. He's flushed out of the pocket, stays on his feet, and then he's finally taken down. Nice play there on defense. That's number 51, Brandon Lester, the 6'1 senior who takes him down. And a nice tackle there. Brooks Roy had a little bit of running room, but he wasn't able to get going because Lester was right there to trip him up. And there's a loss on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 12 for Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce coming out, spreading that field. They've been doing it all game. Brady Zern and Robert Issa are out on the far wide receivers on defense. A little high snap. They're going to throw the screen play, and they do. They get McClain, and McClain has got a little bit of room. He tries to dance around a would-be tackler who takes him down. Nice play there. That's number 53, Nick Boss, the junior for the Wolves. And
on the tackle for the Wolves, T.J. Rhodes.
And T.J. Rhodes also in on the stop there. It's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 for Franklin Pierce. Trips wide receivers to the far side of the field once again. Roy in the shotgun. He looks down the middle, he stutter steps, and he's got a man down the middle, and the pass is caught, and he's still on his feet, and there he goes. Nice catch by number 30. That's Aram Mann. Mann with the catch, got hit, kept his balance, stayed on his feet, running down the near side, the right side of the field. A big reception pass play. And Franklin Pierce gets all the way down to the South Kitsap 40-yard line. So just like that, Franklin Pierce is in business. Franklin Pierce with the pass reception to Mann. They're going to spread this offense and keep it going. So Franklin Pierce has a little momentum going for him here with 9:40 left here in the third quarter. Roy looking, he doesn't have anything. Now he starts to run, and he's going to come around, puts his head down, but not until he is ridden out of bounds. Nice tackle, Jared Moore and Sean Korf there on the tackle, but not until Roy picks up a few yards on the play. In fact, it's quite a big gain. Roy didn't have anybody, tucked the ball under his arm and decided to run. He gained 7 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 3 at the South Kitsap 33-yard line. So Franklin Pierce trying to get something done here with their first offensive series in the second half of play. We are now going to have a timeout by Franklin Pierce. Not really sure why that timeout was called. Those timeouts could be vital near the end of the game, but South Kitsap, actually that timeout probably working in favor of South Kitsap to stop a little bit of that momentum. Going by Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce started by got the reception from the kickoff. And with a couple of penalties, a block in the back and an illegal procedure call. Franklin Pierce started at their own 9-yard line, and a couple of big pass plays, especially the one from Brooks Roy to Aram Mann, and they get all the way down to the South Kitsap 33-yard line. So Franklin Pierce trying to get something done here. They did a nice job on offense in the first half, but they just couldn't capitalize and cut any breaks and get that ball into the end zone. So Franklin Pierce is going to look to get something done here as they come out of the timeout, and they're going to hand the ball off, but that play is going to be dead before anything happens. And it looks like it's going to go against Franklin Pierce. So penalties kind of hurting Franklin Pierce here. We'll have to wait and see what the official's call is. And this was an official's timeout.
No penalty on the play. It's official's timeout.
So no penalty on the play here. Franklin Pierce was going with the running play. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for Franklin Pierce. Still at the South Kitsap 33-yard line. They're going to spread the field once again. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. McClain is the lone setback. Roy with the high snap. They're going to run the same play, and they're going to give the ball to McClain. He's dragged down from behind, but a penalty flag comes flying in from the official, and that's going to be in the area of holding once again. So they would have had the first down on the play. They got past the 30-yard line, needed to get past that 30, but actually they're going to bring it back here. And that was a quick penalty coming in, but you could see the hold from the line. And Franklin Pierce is going to be scooted back once again. So instead of a first down, we're going to see a penalty against Franklin Pierce for holding and scoot them back even further. So Franklin Pierce is going to come out, trips wide receivers to the far side of the field after the holding penalty, and it's going to be second 12. The ball is at the South Kitsap 42-yard line. Franklin Pierce trying to get something going here. They had a drive going. They throw the short pass to the flat, and they have the ball to Mann, and Mann does the manly thing, and he heads right back up the middle, cuts all the way back cross field, and he gets a good portion of that back, gets down to the 33-yard line. And Franklin Pierce is going to have a 3rd and short now. We're going to call it 3rd and 4. Nice job by Mann to gain some extra yardage. It's going to be at the 34. So Franklin Pierce comes out. Franklin Pierce comes out of the huddle. Little confusion, trying to get set here in that shotgun formation. South Kitsap scrambling around. They're going to hand the ball off. No, and he's not going anywhere. Nice hit. That's T.J. Rhodes at big number 50. Tyler Hunson, the junior, and they are right there and introduce themselves to Mr. McClain, saying, "You're not going anywhere on that running play." What a nice defensive stop there by the defensive line. Rhodes and Hunson were right there shutting the door on McClain. And McClellan could not go anywhere, but Franklin Pierce is going to go for it. The ball is at the South Kitsap 36-yard line. They need to get to the 30-yard line. They need 6 yards here. They're in the shotgun. Roy, he looks to his left. He's got a man down the middle, and he overthrows his intended receiver. Lamatasuli was wide open, and the pass was just thrown a little over the head of Lamatasuli. And he was at the 29-yard line, but the pass went over his head. The pass is incomplete, and South Kitsap is going to take over on down, so they will have decent field position here to start their first offensive series in the second half of play. And with 7:13 remaining here in the third quarter, South Kitsap still leads Franklin Pierce 28-0. Gordy Anderson is back in at quarterback as Leon Ladeau and Isaiah Davis are split to the far side of the field. Pea and Sean Allison are in the backfield, and a couple of flags come flying. We're not sure. There was an illegal substitution, it looks like, on the play, and Franklin Pierce is going to have a penalty assessed against them. So just like that, Franklin Pierce has a couple of penalties stacking up against him. So Anderson's going to hand the ball off to Allison, and he's tripped up in the backfield. And another penalty flag comes flying.
Another flag comes in.
That was from the far side of the field, and that might indicate something that came from the sideline. A nice defensive tackle there. He was tripped up by big number 68, Ethan Shackelford. But then a penalty flag. The side judge on the far side of the Franklin Pierce side of the field was just standing over there, and then all of a sudden a penalty flag came flying out, but we'll have to see what it is. There's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed against Franklin Pierce, and we are not sure where that came from, but from what it looked like it was coming from the sideline
Against Franklin Pierce.
The officials are standing over near the Franklin Pierce sideline, looking as if they were trying to get the Franklin Pierce players back, but they're all standing on the sideline, and I couldn't quite see it. So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty assessed against Franklin Pierce. So instead of having the ball at the 44, South Kitsap is going to have a huge gain here. The ball is going to be placed at the 41-yard line of Franklin Pierce.
Down Wolves at the 41-yard line.
So the side judge is talking with the official, and they are pointing over to the sideline of Franklin Pierce. I'm not sure if somebody said something. And now it looks like they're going to move the ball back. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here.
No penalty assessed on the play, just a warning.
So they're going to scoot the ball all the way back to the 44-yard line. So after a little dipsy-doodle call here, it was just a sideline warning against Franklin Pierce. They got it all straightened out, and the Wolves come out. Double wide receiver. They're going to hand the ball straight up the middle. That is to Pea, the up back. He gets the quick handoff, and he gets a few yards on the gain. He's going to get the first down. So after that little melee right there. There was a sideline warning issued against Franklin Pierce, and initially they had scooted Franklin Pierce back 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct, but they sent it all the way back to the original 44-yard line of South Kitsap because it was just a sideline warning. So the Wolves come out. Gordy Anderson under center. He's going to take a drop back, roll to his right. He's looking for the man deep. He's got Leon Ladeau, and he passes. Nice catch by Ladeau. The catch is made at the 39-yard line. Anderson, great job rolling out to his right. He had Jared Moore and Leon Ladeau streaking down the sideline. Moore continued down the field. Ladeau stopped, broke to the sideline, and made the catch. And that will be for a big gain, first down for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 39-yard line. Nice job by Gordy Anderson making the pass to Leon Ladeau, who earlier had a 4-yard touchdown catch in the first half. Anderson also having 2 touchdowns in the first half. Under center, they're going to hand the ball off to, this time it is Robert Issa. And Robert Issa is taken down. The tailback did a nice job of hanging on to the ball. Good fundamentals right there by Issa, powering his legs forward. May have gotten 1 on the play. He did, and it's going to be 2nd down and 9 for South Kitsap. So South Kitsap still with a comfortable 28-0 lead, coming up on 6 minutes left here in the third quarter of play. Maybe trying to just use a little bit of time off the clock. Split wide receivers. Anderson under center. He's looking for his man, and he's got a man. Oh, and he's tripped. He was tripped up. That's number 88, Ronnie Smith, the 6-foot senior. And Smith looked like he was trying to do a little out and up, but he got tripped up with his feet with the defensive back, and he was staggering down a little bit when the ball had been thrown. The pass is incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and long for the Wolves. We'll call it 3rd and 9 for South Kitsap at the Franklin Pierce 38-yard line. Well, I'll call it the 38-yard line. They need to get to about the 28-yard line. Gordy Anderson, they're going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll to his left, but that is coming back as Anderson flips the ball up into the air, then to the official. It looked like the play was all for naught. It's going to be an illegal procedure play against South Kitsap, and it sure looked like Anderson had a lot of room there to his left. And he had a couple of men downfield, but the penalty flag is correct as Isaiah Davis now comes back into the game for the Wolves. So instead of 3rd and 9, it's going to be 3rd and 14 for the Wolves. And South Kitsap would love nothing more than to get a first down here and keep this drive alive with 5:54 remaining here in the third quarter of play. So Leon Ladeau and Isaiah Davis break the huddle to the far side. That's a dangerous combination. Sean Allison is there. Anderson drops back. He's got a man. He's going deep. He's got Leon Ladeau wide open, a broken coverage, and Ladeau is going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. Gordy Anderson with the 44-yard touchdown pass play. Anderson's 3rd touchdown of the night. Ladeau's 2nd. This first one was from 4 yards out. The second one from 44 yards out. There looked like a broken coverage. The Franklin Pierce defenders both came in. Ladeau did a little stutter step, broke outside. And what a nice pass by Anderson, and Ladeau was right there to catch it. Nice job by the Wolves to score again on their first offensive possession here in the third quarter. Drew Klopfenstein has been busy tonight, and the kick is up, and it is good. And with 5:40 remaining here in the third quarter of play, South Kitsap with a 35-0 lead. So a quick recap here shows South Kitsap 5 touchdowns, won the very first one at the beginning of the game. Sean Allison with the lone touchdown run. And we have had 4 touchdown pass plays since. Gordy Anderson with 3 of those touchdown passes. The first one coming in the first quarter to Jared Moore, 20 yards. Another one to Leon Ladeau for a 4-yarder. And then Isaiah Davis had a 20-yarder as well. And now the big 44-yard touchdown pass play to Leon Ladeau. And South Kitsap goes up 35-0. And it's looking a little bleak here now for Franklin Pierce, as even if they are able to sustain some kind of drive, South Kitsap is just continuing to score whenever they have the ball. So we'll see how it goes. So South Kitsap looking to kick off here. And Drew Klopstein doing a lot of work here tonight, and he's going to kick it down the left side. It's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line by the back for Franklin Pierce, who sidesteps a couple of tackles. He starts at the 5 and gets past the 25 down to the 27. So a nice 22-yard return. And Franklin Pierce is going to come out trying to get something done here on offense.
Jordan Anderson on the tackle for the Wolves.
So Franklin Pierce is going to break the offense here and come out with their patented 4 wide receiver offense. Sometimes they come out in the double wide receivers, sometimes the trips. They're going to hand the ball off to McClellan. And McClellan is not going anywhere. Nice job on defense there. Sean Allison and number 61, that's Greg Pickard, the junior for the Wolves, who started at guard tonight, who's also out there on defense. Also in their number 58, that's Cody McBride. So nice job by the defense here tonight. Also up there on that big line, big number 75, Andrew Yapanchai. Andrew, you'll have to forgive me. I'll get your name right here tonight as the Wolves are going to go out with that offense. Trips wide receiver to the far side. Roy calling out plays, and he's going to fake the handoff, look to his left. He's got a man open, and he does. Oh, and there he is. Oh, it sure looked like there was maybe some holding on the play there. Brady Zern did a nice job on the coverage there. Almost looked like a little hold, but instead it was a good defensive play. And the pass was incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and long for Franklin Pierce. So they have the ball at the South Kitsap 27-yard line after a 22-yard kickoff return. South Kitsap getting on the board once again, their first offensive series of plays here in the second half, scoring on a 44-yard touchdown pass reception from Gordy Anderson to Leon Ladeau. So the Cardinals come out here, spread that field. Roy with the high snap. He's being chased out of the pocket, and he overthrows his man once again. Looked like it kind of maybe got away from him a little bit. And he is hit hard. This time Roy gets hit pretty hard right as he releases the ball, and he is somewhat staggering to get up. He took a pretty big shot there on defense. Brooks Roy has been doing a nice job all night for Franklin Pierce there at quarterback, and this time it seemed like it was bound to happen. And that's not Brooks Roy. That's number 5. That's McClellan. And McClellan is coming off. He's limping off the field there a little bit, but he's a tough kid, and we know he'll be back to help Franklin Pierce. He did a really nice job. He's done a very nice job carrying the ball all evening for Franklin Pierce, helping spread out that offense as they go for the big pass plays, and then they just hand it off to McClellan, and he does a nice job on running the ball. So he's going to come out for a breather here, it looks like, as Franklin Pierce had an incomplete pass. It's going to be 4th and 10 from the South Kitsap. We're going to call it they're still at the 27-yard line. Had a first down there in 3 plays, and they're out. So South Kitsap sends back Jared Moore and Isaiah Davis, both standing near their own 35-yard line. We have a stoppage of play here. As Franklin Pierce is 1 player short. Now they get it right. They send 1 more man out. And they're ready to go now here. So Franklin Pierce, the punter, is standing at his own 25-yard line, or 15-yard line. Check that, and it's going to be off the side of his foot once again, and it's going to go out of bounds, so there will be no return. And we'll have to wait and see where the officials spot the ball. and it is going to be placed at the 48-yard line of South Kitsap. So South Kitsap is going to have excellent field position here as they're going to come out on offense once again, and this is a time where we might start to see a few reserves coming into the game for South Kitsap, having a big lead here, 35-0, 4:25 remaining, and coming back into the game are the starters, except Gordy Anderson, who has 3 touchdown passes tonight, is on the sideline now, sharing the duties, getting Brian Dorsey back in there, the senior. Good to see him back. He is under center. Dorsey is going to hand the ball off to Sean Allison. He kind of stutter steps his way off right guard and slowly gets his way past midfield, gets down to the 45-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 7 yards on the play by Allison, and it's going to be 2nd down and 3 for South Kitsap. So South Kitsap trying to sustain a drive here and maybe get some more points on the board in which they could start bringing in some of the reserves. So South Kitsap not in any hurry to get that ball into the end zone with such a comfortable 35-0 lead as Leon Ladeau goes to the far side of the field. Isaiah Davis near side. Dorsey under center, looks over the linebackers. He's going to drop back. He's got Ladeau. He's going for Ladeau again, and he's got him right there. Oh, my goodness. What a hit on defense by number 25, Jordan Woodring. It was intended for Leon Ladeau. It was right there. He had the chance to make the catch, and Leon Ladeau was just popped. And more impressively was Ladeau bouncing right back up as if he never even got hit. 2 big plays there by Woodring, who popped Ladeau and told him to get down on that ground, and Ladeau just popped right back up and said, "What hit?"
Penalty on the play.
Penalty was on the play here, so scooted all back. Wouldn't have mattered if Ladeau had caught the ball or not, but what a great series right there. It's going to be 2nd down for the Wolves. The ball is right at midfield. We didn't see what the penalty was, but Jared Moore and Leon Ladeau are split again to the far side of the field. Peapea and Allison in the backfield. Dorsey is going to give the handoff to Allison. He has a little bit of running room, tries to bounce off to the outside, pursued by a bunch of Cardinals, and he is taken down. Nice job there to let up there on defense. That was by man, but another penalty flag is back in the South Kitsap 45-yard line. And there is a personal foul being assessed against Franklin Pierce. And the referee looked like he just signaled not only a personal foul against Franklin Pierce, but whoever got the penalty for Franklin Pierce is being ejected from the game. Sometimes in a game like this, when a team is down by quite a few points, the one thing you don't want to see happen is your players lose their composure. And unfortunately, a player for Franklin Pierce there is a penalty being assessed against one of the players for Franklin Pierce. We're not sure if it is the player, but for Franklin Pierce, it's number 4. That is Ruben.
Foul penalty assessed against Franklin Pierce.
The personal foul against Ruben Lamasatili, and it appears as if he was also ejected from the game. That was a quick call, so the penalty was at the South Kitsap 45-yard line. That should be a 15-yarder. Scoot that ball all the way down to the Franklin Pierce 40, but we'll wait and see how they assess it. As the official was over talking on the sideline to the head coach for Franklin Pierce, Howard Lutton, and it looks like number 4 was ejected from the game. So there may have been some words said, and sometimes that happens in the heat of the moment when your team is down quite a bit, and it's going to be a costly one for Franklin Pierce. So scoot that ball past midfield. They're going to place the ball at the 40-yard line.
It's first down, Wolves.
So it's going to be first down, South Kitsap. And there's now going to be a timeout called by South Kitsap. So South Kitsap's going to call a timeout here. We're going to wait to see officially where they place the ball. It should be placed, looks like it's going to be placed at the 30-yard line. So South Kitsap coming out, looking to get a sustained drive going here. We're still here only in the third quarter, 3.5 left here. 3:31 remaining in the game, and they still lead Franklin Pierce 35-0. So South Kitsap pretty much in control of this game. Just a quick recap, Gordy Anderson having a big game for the Wolves in at quarterback, who has thrown 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Leon Ladeau. Another one was thrown to Isaiah Davis. And actually, Leon Ladeau caught 2 of those. One of those was thrown by Brian Dorsey, who threw one to Leon Ladeau. And then Leon Ladeau with the big 44-yarder from Gordy Anderson on their first series here in the third quarter. So South Kitsap up 35-0 as they come out after the big penalty at the 30-yard line. Brian Dorsey back in at quarterback. And Dorsey is going to hand the ball off to Sean Allison. He gets a big block, but not until he's taken down. Again, a nice tackle there on defense. That's number 68, Ethan Shackelford for Franklin Pierce. Nice job by Franklin Pierce. Allison got about 5 yards on the play, down to the 35 of Franklin Pierce. And it's going to be 2nd and 5 for South Kitsap as they come out now. Peapea is in at fullback. Gillespie is in at tight end. Split on the left side. We have a new tailback in for the Wolves. Dorsey under center. He's going to hand the ball off to number 10. There goes number 10 for the South Kitsap Wolves, and he is hit big. That's Zach Cruz, the junior for the Wolves, who comes in now getting a little bit of playing time here, and Cruz is just excited. Had a huge opening, and he was hit hard down to the ground, but again, impressively just bounces right back up. So South Kitsap with the first down as Zach Cruz in there, gets down to the Franklin Pierce 13-yard line. Cruz is going to stay in at tailback. Smith split on the far side, number 21 also in there. A.J. Espy, they're going to pitch the ball to Cruz, and Cruz puts his head down, gets outside the tackle, down to the 10-yard line. I think he's inside, but either way, I think it's going to be 1st and goal for the Wolves at the 10.
Ethan Shackelford again, the tackler.
Shackelford in on the tackle. Dorsey gets the play from the sideline, and Zach Cruz coming in here doing a nice job. Cruz stays in at tailback. Peapea blocking for him up front. That big offensive line, they're going to hand the ball off to Cruz. There he goes up the line, stutter steps, comes in. Oh, and he's hit hard, but he's taken down just short of the goal line. Number 7. Boy, that's Brooks Roy, and I'll tell you what, there are some, South Kitsap is getting close to that end zone, but Franklin Pierce is making them pay for it. There are just some big hits that are going on, and Brooks Roy looks like he may have kind of dinged himself a little bit. He's kind of staggering around out there just a little bit. But what a tough kid. And boy, was that a big hit on Cruz. But while he went down, and the ball is going to be placed at the Franklin Pierce 3-yard line. So South Kitsap breaking the huddle here. Ronnie Smith and A.J. Espy split to the far side of the field. Zach Cruz at tailback. Dorsey hands it off to Cruz. Oh, and he's hit hard. He went down. And, in fact, I don't think there was any gain on the play. He may have even lost one. And he did. They're going to scoot him back about half a yard. It's going to be 4th down and goal for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 4-yard line. So the Wolves need 4 yards to punch it into the end zone for a touchdown. and they are going to come out for the field goal. So South Kitsap is not going to run the ball. They are going to come out and set up for the field goal. The ball is placed at the 4-yard line. This will officially be a 21-yard field goal attempt by Drew Klopstein. He's kicking from his 11-yard line. There is a penalty flag, and I think that the Wolves took a little too much time on this one. There was a little confusion as to whether or not the Wolves were going to come out and maybe run a play or if they were going to kick. And there's going to be a delay of game, so the Wolves are going to be scooted back 5 yards. So it's going to be a 26-yard field goal attempt here. A 26-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. A nice kick by Klopstein. And so 3 more points on the board for the Wolves. And with 2 100 ticks left on the clock, the Wolves go up 38-0 on the Franklin Pierce Cardinals as we are going to head into the 4th quarter of play here. The Wolves will have to kick off to Franklin Pierce before the switch is made. So South Kitsap getting on the board with a field goal. Nice job by Klopstein with a 26-yard field goal to complement the 4 touchdown passes, 3 by Gordy Anderson, 1 by Brian Dorsey, and the lone touchdown run by Sean Allison. So South Kitsap is really sharing the wealth and the scoring duties on offense. So South Kitsap is enjoying a very comfortable lead here. They will be kicking from the 40-yard line. Drew Klopstein has done a real nice job with the kicking duties. We've worked very hard on the offseason, practicing every day, and he's looking real good from the tee as he's going to kick it to the deep far left side. Takes 1 bounce, fielded by the up back at the 15-yard line. Stays on his feet, stutter steps his way up, gets out to the 30, and that's going to be it for the 3rd quarter of play, as a 15-yard return will get Franklin Pierce the ball back at their own 30-yard line, as we are going to wait for the officials to swap sides, and Franklin Pierce will have the ball at their own 30-yard line to see if they can get down and get some points on the board. So South Kitsap doing a nice job on offense, but also doing a very nice job on defense, and I'm sure here in the second half of play that we are going to see a few more substitutions made by Wolves to get some more playing time in for that depth that they have. And that's one of the keys to the South Kitsap football team, is getting lots of players in with lots of playing time. And that experience is very, very important for them to gain here in the Narrows League play, even though this is a non-league game with one of the crosstown teams from Franklin Pierce. And it's still a beautiful, beautiful evening here for football here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. So TJ Rhodes comes out for the Wolves as Franklin Pierce is now going to come out. They will have the ball at their own 30-yard line. They continue to spread that offense as they have been doing all night. Brooks Roy still in at quarterback as they had trips wide receivers to the near side of the field. Roy's going to roll to his left. He's being chased down by number 79 for the Wolves. He steps up looking for a man downfield, and he finally does. He's got a man. That's number 2 on the reception, Josh Moore. Roy rolled to his left, stopped, kept those feet firing, didn't have a receiver, started running forward, but saw Moore running to the opposite side of the field. Threw a nice pass. Moore makes a catch, and he's about 2 inches short of the first down, just short of the 40-yard line. Franklin Pierce has to get to that 40-yard line to get that first down. Nice job by Franklin Pierce here to keep coming out, firing it up. They send out 4 wide receivers, 3 of them to this near side. South Kitsap doing a nice job on the defensive backside. Good pass coverage, a little high snap. Roy looking downfield, doesn't have anybody. Oh, and he's flushed out of the pocket, and he does just overthrow his man, but not before that. The defensive line is right there. Number 45, Austin Cook. Number 79, Shamari Burton. Number 59, Colin Berg. Just some big boys up there on that defensive line that are really flushing them out. Number 47, that's Rick Gillespie back in there too. So the defensive line doing a nice job of pressuring Roy into getting rid of that ball before he really wanted to. Roy throwing a nice ball, but just kind of sailing over the heads here. He's in the shotgun formation. Roy is once again a little high snap. They're going to hand the ball off to the running back, but he's not going anywhere, and the ball's on the floor, and they go recover it. Nice job there on defense. Number 68 for the Wolves, that's Ricky Blas, and he falls on the ball again, and the sophomore makes the recovery for the Wolves. The second mistake by Franklin Pierce, the first one coming when they didn't cover the onside kick after the first score, a one-yard touchdown run by Sean Allison, and South Kitsap went for the onside kick, and Franklin Pierce wasn't expecting it, didn't recover, and now the ball was fumbled, and Ricky Blas recovered it. Nice job by Blas, and the ball is at the Franklin Pierce the 38-yard line as South Kitsap makes some more substitutions. In at quarterback now for the Wolves. Nice job there. That's number 8. That's Ray Chico. Nice job by Chico coming in here. He had some playing time in the first week against the junior. Chico is the junior who had a little bit of playing time against Stadium as well. So a plethora of substitutions coming in. Also in at wide receiver, number 85. That's Michael Doherty, split to the far side of the field. Sean Korf in at the fumble and snap. They still hand the ball off to the tailback. I think that's Zach Cruz. We're going to have to wait and see if that was him, and it is. Cruz is still in there. Nice job by Cruz. The snap was fumbled by Chico, and Cruz was able to hang on to it and got forward and still gets the first down. So nice job by Cruz to get the handoff, and a nice job by Chico to maintain his composure and get that ball back after he fumbled it. It was on the ground, picked it right up and handed it off to Cruz. And the South Kitsap Wolves get a first down. They're going to have the ball off to the tailback, a different tailback this time. That's number 28 for the Wolves. That's Jordan Anderson. Jordan Anderson comes in now at tailback. Zach Cruz was in there for a little bit. Number 19, John Traster, is in there as well. Splitting out to the wide receiver, number 21 for the Wolves, A.J. Espy, also in there, splitting the slot. Anderson is in there. Jordan Anderson, they're going to hand the ball off to Anderson, and he skips out to the left side. He avoids a tackler. He gets to the outside, past the 20, down to the 15. Before he is flushed out of bounds, he stands up in disgust because he had a lot of room. Nice job by Jordan Anderson right there. And the Wolves get a first down, and the ball is going to be placed at the Franklin Pierce 16-yard line. Ray Chico, the junior, still in at quarterback for the Wolves, as more substitutions come into the game now for South Kitsap. A little confusion on the play. Here comes number 85. That's Michael Doherty. Number 87 also in there. That's Jordan Spears. They both split out to the far side of the field. They don't want to be offside. That's close. Chico under center. They're going to hand the ball off to the tailback. That's number 37 with the carry. That's Chris Nenninger, the junior, coming in at tailback, who was out for a couple of weeks with a minor knee injury as well. Good to see him healthy. He is back in. So Nenninger in at tailback. He gets about 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 13-yard line. They can get a first down at the Franklin Pierce 6. Nenninger in the backfield, once again at tailback. Chico is going to hand the ball off to Nenninger. He puts his head down. He goes right off guard, spins around, gets close to that first down marker. He's going to be a couple of yards short. Nenninger gets the ball down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 3rd down for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 8. They need to get to the 6. Chico stays in, and now Zach Cruz comes in at tailback. Nenninger comes out. Cruz was close on the last series, but they put him back in here. We'll see what Cruz can do. Chico under center, 2 wide receivers to the near side of the field. They're going to hand the ball off to Cruz. There goes Cruz, but a penalty flag. Cruz gets down to the 2-yard line, but a penalty flag comes flying in from the far side of the field near the 8. That's usually in the area of an illegal procedure or an illegal formation. We're going to have to wait and see what the officials call. We haven't seen a signal yet. And it's a holding call against South Kitsap. So instead of the ball, the flag is at the 9. That's usually a spot foul. And if that is a hold, they're going to scoot the Wolves back another 10 yards. So put the ball at the Franklin Pierce 18-yard line, and it's going to be third. It'll be 3rd and 12 for South Kitsap at the Franklin Pierce 18. They're going to have to get down to the 6-yard line. Number 19 in the game, that's John Traster. Chico under center, and there's going to be a false start. That's A.J. Espy. He was a little excited to get off the line of scrimmage there. Taps himself on the helmet. He knew what he did, but he was just a little anxious, so we're going to scoot the Wolves back another 5 yards. And it's going to be 3rd and 17 for the Wolves from the 23-yard line. So South Kitsap still needs to get all the way down to the 6. Ray Chico coming back in, still at quarterback for the Wolves, getting a little playing time here. Gordy Anderson and Brian Dorsey having really good games tonight. Anderson with 3 touchdowns, Dorsey with 1. Split wide receivers. Zach Cruz still in there at tailback. And this time it's going to be offside against Franklin Pierce. I think that's going to be offside on the defense.
Penalty on the play.
Penalty, that was the big defensive lineman there, number 74. So scoot it forward. Now it's going to be 3rd and 12 once again. So a few penalties are dictating where the ball is being placed here. Chico under center. They're going to hand the ball off to Cruz, and Cruz goes off. He just puts his head down, turns around, still moves forward. He gets down to the 11-yard line.
Cruz, the ball carrier.
And it's going to be 4th down for South Kitsap, and they were unable to get the first down. So South Kitsap is going to come out and attempt a long field goal. The ball is at the 12-yard line. So this is going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt. Or excuse me, this is going to be a 19-yard field goal attempt. As there are penalty flags flying, and it looks like that's going to be an illegal substitution. There's going to be a timeout called now. There's a lot of confusion down on the field, and South Kitsap is going to call a timeout. So with 6:09 remaining here in the game, South Kitsap calls a timeout, leading Franklin Pierce 38-0. So South Kitsap doing a nice job on offense, and instead of going for it on 4th down, they're going to kick the field goal. Drew Klopstein already with 1 field goal earlier tonight, and a whole bunch of extra points. And they are going to go for the field goal here. The ball's at the 12. Scoot that ball back. 10, and it is. It's going to be this is going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt for the Wolves here. Trying to get our numbers from our crew down on the field, doing an excellent job tonight. South Kitsap TV, led by the man himself, Mike Downham, doing another excellent job with another production of Friday Night Football here at South Kitsap High School. So they break the huddle, and this is going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt. The ball is placed at the 12. The snap is back, the kick is up, and it is Good. That one would have been good from 49 yards out. Nice job by Klopstein. A 29-yard field goal is good by him, and the Wolves go up 41-0 with 6:02 remaining here in the game. So South Kitsap doing a nice job and showing just how strong that kicking game is. A couple of field goals here in the fourth quarter. And South Kitsap just hoping now that clock will run out and they will be able to come away with a nice victory here. South Kitsap is going to run their record to 2-1. Next week, the Wolves will be playing at home against one of their big rivals, the Gig Harbor Tides. According to the information that we have right in front of us, South Kitsap will be playing at home next week against Gig Harbor, so come out and see the big game between the Tides and the Wolves, which has turned into a big rivalry between the two, not just in football, but in all sports. So South Kitsap getting ready to kick off here. South Kitsap will have a lot of momentum going into next week's game. And the Wolves will be kicking off here. Klopstein with the kick. The ball's going to be fielded by the up back at the 12-yard line. Goes straight up the middle. Oh, nice hit on defense, and he gets thrown around. But a couple of penalty flags at the 30 and 35-yard line. And we'll have to wait and see what that is. That's usually in the area of an illegal block in the back. So the officials are going to confirm with one another exactly what the play is. He was hit hard there on defense by the Wolves. The officials are still talking about it with one another. Still wondering what all the discussion is about here. South Kitsap had a 29-yard field goal attempt by Drew Klopstein, and then on the kickoff, the ball was fielded by Franklin Pierce at their own 12, got the ball out to their 29-yard line. And we're still waiting to hear what the official call is from the officials.
Chop block.
And it's a chop block penalty that is being assessed against Franklin Pierce. And that is where you start getting into dangerous territory right there when people are going for the legs. So South Kitsap escapes injury, and the ball is going to be placed at the 14-yard line. Ball is going to be placed at the 14-yard line, and Franklin Pierce is going to have a first down and a long ways to go. They got to go 86 yards in 5:53 to try and get salvage some points on the board. Roy's going to take the shotgun run, the option. He pitches the ball to the running back, and there he goes off to the right side. Franklin Pierce gets to the outside. He's being chased and brought down by A.J. Espy.
That's Andrew Quim.
Andrew Quim with the pitch from Brooks. Nice run there.
But not till he gets to the 42-yard line.
He gets all the way down to the 42-yard line. What a great run for Franklin Pierce. A 43-yard run on the option. Brooks hit Quim. And just like that, they're in business. Franklin Pierce coming out again. 3 trips wide receivers to the near side of the field. Roy in the shotgun. They're going to hand the ball off to the up back. That's Quim. Boy, Quim running real hard. Nice job by Quim. Goes off left guard, gets to the outside, gets all the way down to the 41-yard line. So a gain of 1 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 9 But boy, is Quem running hard as there's more substitutions coming in now for the Wolves on defense. Franklin Pierce coming out, splitting that defense out as far as they can. Trips wide receivers. Little high snap. Nice job by Roy not letting it go. And then and he just gets it, overthrows. It's thrown a little high. The screen pass to Quem. Quem jumped up, got his fingertips on it, tried to bat it down right into his hands, unable to do so. The pass is incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and long for Franklin Pierce. 3rd and 9 from the South Kitsap 41-yard line. So after a big run, a 43-yard run play on the option for Quem, Franklin Pierce trying to do some damage here. They would really like to get onto the board. Quem is the lone running back. Roy jumps up, still gets it, looks for a man out left. Now he starts it and he tucks it under, starts running, and he looks like he keeps going and he's on his feet. There goes Roy. He gets out to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's going to be ridden out of bounds by A.J. Espy, who took him down soft at the 10-yard line. Nice job by Brooks Roy. A big running play. Started at the 32. Gets all the way down to the 10. A 22-yard run by Brooks Roy. And it looks like Franklin Pierce is going to get into the end zone. That's what they're trying to do here. So Roy tucking the ball under his arm and just taking off up the middle, then getting out to the left side. They're still spreading that offense. Trips wide receivers. They're going to run the option again. He fakes the option, keeps it and runs. And there goes Roy, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Franklin Pierce. Brooks Roy with the 10-yard touchdown run, and that is what Franklin Pierce has been trying to do all night. They get into the end zone, and for such a large spread offense where there were a lot of run and gun and passing, they get into the end zone. Brooks Roy with the fake option pitch to Quem, tucks it under his arm and scoots into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, Franklin Pierce, with 4:34 remaining in the game. Franklin Pierce going for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. So Franklin Pierce finally gets on the board here with 4:34 remaining in the game. Now trailing South Kitsap 41-7, but it's going to take a lot more than that to try and get back into this game. So South Kitsap is going to get the ball back here and try and do something on offense. The last couple of series of offensive plays that the Wolves have had, they've tried to get the ball into the end zone, and they've gotten pretty deep, got pretty close, but unfortunately came up a little bit short. So South Kitsap enjoying the lead here, and I can imagine that the Wolves are not going to try and get cute at all. They're going to try and sustain some kind of drive and hang on to the ball. They don't want to turn it over, fumble, interception, or anything. They want to just keep that drive alive and keep that clock running. South Kitsap with a little timeout here. 41-7 lead, comfortable lead for the Wolves, as they will be heading into next week playing against Gig Harbor. Now this is the information that we have in front of us. We'll still have to check our local listings to see who South Kitsap plays next week. But according to the information at hand, they will be playing the big rivalry with Gig Harbor here at Joe Knowles Field. And many people remember the game from last year, which some people called the Mud Bowl. South Kitsap's field completely turned into mud with a massive rainstorm. And South Kitsap victorious 3-0. As Franklin Pierce comes out. A little confusion on the kickoff. So South Kitsap here going to get the ball back. Franklin Pierce kicking off from their 40-yard line. South Kitsap coming up. They're not sure. Maybe they're going to try an onside kick, and it's going to be a shorter kick, but it's going to be fielded back near the 25-yard line by the Wolves. Not a big gain on the return. That's number 39 on the kickoff. That's DeAndre Van Slyke, the sophomore, who came up to receive the kickoff and gets the ball down to the Wolves' 30-yard line. It'll be just inside the 30-yard line. So first down for South Kitsap just inside their 30-yard line. 4:27 left. South Kitsap was still a comfortable 41-7 lead here. So South Kitsap with a lot of substitutions coming in. And in at quarterback for the Wolves now is Tanner Romo, the sophomore, who is going to hand the ball off to the tailback. Oh my goodness. There's Jordan Anderson again, and he put his head down. And if that tackler wasn't there, Anderson had a lot of running room ahead of him. And if they make another hole like that, you can count on Anderson getting into that end zone. That was a nice run by Anderson. He put his head down, and one would-be tackler tripped him up. But not until he gained 6 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Wolves. Anderson stays in at tailback. Romo under center. They're going to hand the ball off to Anderson. He goes off right guard, but not. Oh, he's taken down. No gain on the play. There was a brief opening there on the offensive line, but didn't go anywhere. So it's going to be third. In fact, he might have lost a yard on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Wolves at the Franklin Pierce 36-yard line. So the Wolves need to get to the 40 for a first down. Romo still in at quarterback. Michael Doherty and number 17, that's Mitchell Cartwright, split to the wide receivers. They're going to have the ball to Jordan Anderson. There goes Jordan Anderson. Well, again, once he did, keeps his leg driving, and he does get past the 40. In fact, he gets all the way up to the 44-yard line. Nice job by Anderson to get the first down. Anderson with a really nice run there as more substitutions come into the field as Romo talking to the head coach DJ Sigurdson on the sideline. Romo in there getting some PT as the Wolves not going to try and get cute. 2:45 remaining, still with a comfortable 41-7 lead. Romo looks over the defense. Under center, he's going to hand the ball off to Anderson once again, and he cuts back. There he goes, and he's going straight up the middle. That's Zach. That's Zach Cruz. Zach Cruz is going to cruise into the end zone for a touchdown. Zach Cruz with the 46-yard touchdown, 54-yard touchdown run. And just like that, Zach Cruz gets into the end zone. Touchdown, South Kitsap. And I'll tell you, Cruz was able to cruise into the end zone on that one, thanks to the offensive line by the South Kitsap Wolves, who made a big hole for him to cruise down. That's what you call cruising on a Friday night. Zach Cruz with the 54-yard touchdown run as South Kitsap goes for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. And South Kitsap on the board once again with 2:21 remaining in the game. Now leads Franklin Pierce 48-7. The scoring has been very well balanced here tonight by the Wolves. A big game by the starting quarterback, Gordy Anderson, who has thrown for 3 touchdown passes. Leon Ladeau has 2 touchdown catches tonight. Brian Dorsey, back off the injured reserve, also with the touchdown pass. And Sean Allison with the first touchdown run of the evening, a 1-yarder to get the Wolves going on offense. Isaiah Davis also with a touchdown reception. And now we have Zach Cruz, the junior for the Wolves, who goes for a 54-yard touchdown run for the Wolves. A big night for Zach Cruz as well. So South Kitsap trying to get a lot of playing time in there, and a lot of these young men getting some pretty good experience. South Kitsap doing a nice job here on both sides of the ball. Still a beautiful, beautiful evening here for football here on the campus of South Kitsap High School, as Drew Klopstein is now going to kick off for the Wolves from the 40. And the kick is going to be a low liner that's going to be fielded at the 10-yard line, bobbled a bit, picked up. There he goes off the right side for the Cardinals. That's number 3.
Amani
Lamatasuli with the carry. He had the ball at the 10-yard line, gets all the way out to the 27-yard line. A nice 17-yard return. And they will be in business. Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce coming out on offense. They're going to run that patented spread offense. And this time, and they're going to take a timeout. Franklin Pierce is going to take a timeout here. A little confusion. They have a new quarterback in. Franklin Pierce does. More substitutions.
For the Cardinals.
And this time, the Cardinals, Franklin Pierce was not in that spread formation. They had a couple of wide receivers, but 2 tailbacks in the I formation, going back towards more of a traditional spread. In at quarterback is going to be number 13, Dempsey Wheelock. And he's going to take over the reins at quarterback for Brooks Roy, who's had a very fine game tonight, not only on offense but on defense as well. A couple of big hits for him. Couldn't quite get things going the way he had hoped on offense, but throwing some nice passes out there. And that spread offense is something that the rest of the SPSL 3A teams are going to have to look out for. So now they come out, and Wheelock in at quarterback. They do come out with the spread offense. 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. 2:12 remaining here in the game. First down for Franklin Pierce at the South Kitsap 32-yard line. Wheelock is going to run the option. He's going to keep it, but not until he's taken down. Nice defensive tackle there by number 59, Colin Berg, the junior for the Wolves. And it's going to be second. In fact, he drops him for a loss. Nice job by Berg. And so the wheels stayed locked right there, and the ball is going to be at the 26-yard line, excuse me. And Franklin Pierce is going to have a 2nd and 11 with 1:40 remaining here in the game. Wheelock looking over the defense, a little high snap. They're going to hand the ball off to the runner. That is number 9, Quem, with the handoff, and I don't think that Franklin Pierce is going to try and get cute here and go for any kind of a long home run ball. Wheelock runs over to the sideline. They're in no hurry to get this off here. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 yards to go. Franklin Pierce needs to get to the 37-yard line for a first down. They're at their own 25. Wheelock looks over the D. 2 wide receivers split to the far side. The ball is snapped. Nice job by Wheelock. Tucks his head down, keeps running, but he does not get the first down. He gets past just the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down, but I believe that Franklin Pierce will probably just let this play, the clock run down. I don't even think they need to run a play. It is 4th down. They don't want to run a play and get downed. Otherwise, it'll be South Kitsap ball on the turnover because of downs. And I think that Franklin Pierce is just going to let this clock wind down, and this will be the end of the game. So South Kitsap, the South Kitsap Wolves, and they are. Franklin Pierce is not going to run a play. The play is just the clock's going to wind down, and South Kitsap is going to win their 2nd home game. They are undefeated at home as South Kitsap defeats Franklin Pierce 48-7 here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. So the Wolves do a nice job bouncing back from the 14-13 loss last week to Central Kitsap and defeat the Franklin Pierce Cardinals 48-7 here at South Kitsap High School. So nice job by both teams. The South Kitsap Wolves showing they can bounce back and put the punch to somebody, which they did. Next week, South Kitsap will be playing their big rival, the Gig Harbor Tides, here at Joel Knowles Field next week on the campus of South Kitsap High School. So come one, come all, and come enjoy a big, big game as South Kitsap will take on the Gig Harbor Tides. We would like to thank the South Kitsap High School television production crew led by Mike Downham, who have put on a nice show here tonight once again. And this is Darren Bowden coming to you from South Kitsap High School. And once again, a nice 48-7 victory for the Wolves. And we will see you hopefully next week here again as the Wolves take on the Gig Harbor Tides. So once again, for Mike Downham and the entire crew, thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see everybody next week.